Welcome to Pelican Sports TV for Nicholls Colonels Baseball. Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Tourism is proud to present the Mardi Gras Invitational, Beads and Baseball on the Bayou, hosted by Nicholls State University in Thibodaux, Louisiana. It is time for the Wagner Seahawks and the Nicholls Colonels. Let's play ball!
Welcome to Pelican Sports TV, the Mardi Gras Invitational at Ray E. Didier Field. It's the Wagner Seahawks from Staten Island, New York, in the homestand in Nicholls Colonels, as you heard here in the Mardi Gras Invitational. I'm Tommy Chrysan. My announcing partner today is Don Landry. But Don Landry was the basketball coach here from 1966 to 79. He was the athletic director from 1980 to 1989. And he's been chosen to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. You get a good look at Don there. He coached high school baseball at Chalmette High back in the day as well. And he is going to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. But we're going to take a break, come back with the first pitch and the starting lineups right after this pause at the Mardi Gras Invitational, Beads and Baseball on the Bayou, Pelican Sports TV.
In sports, you strive for first or best. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional is both. The region's first comprehensive sports medicine program with a team of the best sports medicine trained experts. You're serious about the game, we're serious about your safety. With advanced concussion testing technology and certified athletic trainers, we're keeping athletes safely in the game. Play hard, play to win. The Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional will help you play it safe.
Up and down the bayou. That's how we tell you to get from one place to the other. It's a little different, but so are we in Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. And once you get here, you'll understand why our Cajun runs a little deeper. Find a piece of our story on swamp tours and fishing boats, at festivals, attractions, and restaurants. Visit lacajunbayou.com to plan your trip today. Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Rich, natural, unapologetically Cajun. Just south of New Orleans, where Cajun runs deep.
We look at Don Landry, my announcing partner, down on the field to throw the ceremonial first pitch. It's not often when your announcing partner is down there to throw out the ceremonial first pitch. It'll be caught by Mike Hanchar, the left-hander who beat ULL this past week. And we got a strike by the little guy.
And to throw out today's second ceremonial first pitch is former Colonel basketball.
And here's a good look at Don Landry. We're going to see what the old right arm still got in it out here. There's Don.
Fire it in there.
Hey, bounce one in there.
Big hand.
All good for the former head basketball and coach and AD. Hey, let's tell you about the ballpark here at Nicholls State University. It's Ray E. Didier Field. Opened in 1960. It seats 3,200 people. Left field line, right field line, 330 feet. Center field is 400 feet. And it's a lot of renovations going on. In the sixth inning today, we'll speak with athletic director Matt Roan, talk about some of that. Also in the fourth inning today, we'll speak with head football coach Tim Rebo. Ray E. Didier Field, beautiful Saturday afternoon down on the bayou here in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Wagner Seahawks from Staten Island, New York. They got a little over 2,000 students in their school. again in Staten Island, New York. The Jim Carone, the head coach, really good guy. He'll line up the Seahawks like this: Joe Silverstone in center, Anthony Godino in left field, Phil Capra is catcher, Pecora is at second base hitting cleanup, Kayla in right field, Curao at first base, Diamore at third, Meade at designated hitter, Mazio at short. This is the third game of the year for the Wagner Seahawks. They are 1-1 on the year. The first ball games they played, first time they were outside, is this week. They actually lost to the Southern Jaguars and defeated the Grambling Tigers in earlier action here at the Mardi Gras Invitational. The Nicholls Colonels are 3-3 on the season, and last night got a big performance from senior on the mound Cole Stapler and beat Long Island University out of Brooklyn, by a score of 3-0. Let's take a look at our umpires for today's game. We've got a three-man crew that will handle the calls. At home plate, Michael Summers. Down at first base, Don Mesh. Around at third, Jeff Beeman. A three-man crew here for the ball game. Let's take a look at the starting pitcher for the Nicholls Colonels. Making his first start for Nicholls, Caden Hatcher. Caden Hatcher will be on the mound. He's 6'5", 200-pound junior from Ponte Vedra, Florida. Hatcher, his first appearance as a Colonel.
Along with regular celebrations such as
and in the defense behind him, around the outfield and left field, Smith, center field, Niehaus, right field, Waby. Around the infield, it's Cahill, Morales, Valdez, Kyle North at first. Tucker's your catcher and Hatcher on the mound. North, the big first baseman for the Colonels, hit a blast out of here last night as I watched the 3-0 victory over Long Island University of Brooklyn. Don Landry will be joining me in just a minute. He's made his way back up to the press box. Press box is only a couple of years old here at Nicholls, and they have other renovations and improvements taking place in this facility and across the campus. As I mentioned, in the sixth inning, we'll visit with Athletic Director Matt Roan and get some updates on that. Fourth inning today, we visit with football coach Tim Revo, find out about that Colonel football program. Don, how about that first pitch, huh?
Well, I've done it before, and it's by far the worst I've ever done. I was embarrassed, but...
Hey, you were out there for all your years as the basketball coach and the athletic director, and glad to have you up here in the booth with me. Leading off the game for the Wagner Seahawks will be the center fielder, Joe Silverstone. He is a sophomore out of New Jersey. Seahawks in the gray uniforms with the green numbers and lettering and white trim. And our first pitch of the ball game from Hatcher is away, ball one. We are underway, first pitch in the Mardi Gras Invitational.
Beautiful day for baseball.
Wind blowing out slightly towards right field, which is a little bit rare here. Fastball misses away, count is 2-0. Infield's normal depth, outfield straight away for the Wagner center fielder, Silverstone. The 2-0 pitch. Strike called on the outside corner, and it counts 2-1. Nice crowd on hand coming into the park as we speak. Fastball away, count 3-1.
Everything's been outside. It's his first start, I believe you told me, and he just has to get it inside a little better.
The 3-1 pitch, called, strike. We're full up. Payoff pitch going to be delivered here by Caden Hatcher. Big right-hander for the Colonels. Popped up out of play, left side.
That foul ball brought to you by Spars, downtown Thibodeau.
Colonels in the third base dugout. Seahawks of Wagner College down on the first base side. We're going to get another payoff pitch from Hatcher. On deck is Godino, the left fielder. Here's another pop-up towards the right side, going to be playable in foul territory and caught by North for out number one.
Well, that's an important out for him to settle down, getting that first batter out. Got him an easy pop-up for the first baseman.
That'll bring up the left fielder, Anthony Godino, a junior out of Thornwood, New York. Godino
With one down in the inning.
Where's number 44? He'll hit from the right side.
Number 44, Anthony
With
Godino.
one out here in the top half of the first inning. Good job by Hatcher to work back after falling behind. Fly ball right side, twisting towards the foul line, and it is going to be caught. Nice diving catch by Gavin Webby as he rolled into foul territory. What a catch.
Well, it looked like he had no chance to get there, and he just went all out and dove forward, made a beautiful catch, and helping his pitcher get out of trouble.
So 2 outs, nobody on.
Now
It'll bring up
batting
the
for
catcher,
Seahawks,
Phil
the catcher,
Capra.
number 27, Phil Capra.
Capra will hit from the left side. Hatcher ready to throw it. Outside corner, just missed with the fastball. Count 1-0. Again, wind blowing out slightly to right field. Capra hits one into left field. Quade Smith drifts back short of the warning track, camps under, and that's out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for Hatcher and the Colonels.
And that's the end of the top of the first. There were no runs on no hits. There were no errors, and there's no one left on base. Colonels coming to bat.
We're going to head down to the bottom half of the first inning. Let's take a look at the batting order for Coach Seth Thibodeau's Nicholls Colonels, and he'll line them up like this. Leading off, Chet Niehaus, the center fielder. Batting second is shortstop Joey Morales. Hitting third, the right fielder Gavin Webby. Hitting fourth, the first baseman Kyle North. Batting fifth, designated hitter Lee Clark. Hitting sixth is the catcher Alex Tucker. Batting seventh, the left fielder Quade Smith. They call him Q. Batting eighth, Terry Cahill, the third baseman, and batting ninth, second baseman Ethan Valdez. Let's take a look at the freshman pitcher for the Wagner Seahawks, Chris Moormile. Coach Carone tells me this is the first time he's ever appeared in a college game out of Wildwood, New Jersey. Chris Moormile, the right-hander in the program, 5'11", 195, can get the ball up to 94 miles an hour, so we may see a bunch of fastballs there. Defensively, behind Moormile in the outfield, Godino in left, Silverstone in center, Kayla in right, Diamore at third, Mazio at short, Pecora at second, Curao at first, Capra, who just flied outs behind the plate, and as I mentioned, on the mound, Moormile. Don Landry, it can be tough on a guy that's never played a game of college baseball before, and he gets on the mound to take on the Colonels.
Well, both teams haven't played multiple days in a row or short on pitchers, so they have to try new ones. But if you don't give them a chance, you don't know what they can do. This young man can throw pretty hard. I'm sure he has jitters, and it's just like it was important for the Nicholls pitcher to get ahead. It's important that he get out of this first inning. If he does, he probably settle down.
And that's what Coach Jim Carone told me. So he doesn't know what to expect. He's hoping for the best, and the guy's got all the skill and the talent, but you never know when you get out there that first time. So we shall see. So Capra's going to throw it down. And leading off for the Colonels will be the center fielder from Hammond, Louisiana, Chet Niehaus. This guy can really, really run. Coach Walt Jones down at first base for the Colonels. He's also the hitting coach. Head coach Seth Thibodeau coaches third for Nicholls. And again, Niehaus will lead off, 5'10", 175 pounds out of Hammond, Louisiana.
Leading off for the Colonels.
And he'll start things for them here in the bottom half of the first inning. Glad to have you tuned in to Pelican Sports TV. First pitch up and away, ball one, as we broadcast into Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, online at PelicanSportsTV.com. Joey Morales is on deck. The 1-0 pitch to Niehaus is in there for called strike one. Shortstop Morales, as I mentioned, is on deck for the Colonels here in the bottom of the first. Ground ball left side, shortstop. Mazio will throw it over there, scooped out of the dirt by Curao, and Niehaus is retired 6-3.
Well, Maggio had to move to his right a little bit, came up strong throw, but he was in the dirt. Nice play by the first baseman to scoop it up and help his pitcher.
That'll bring up Joey Morales, the junior out of Fort Myers, Florida. Real good shortstop, and batting second for Seth Thibodeau's Colonels with one out and nobody on.
Many of the Colonel players have not hit the ball real well this season, but Morales is an exception. He's hitting .368, and he's had hits in most of the ball games. Good all-around player. Good shortstop.
First pitch in there for a strike. Here's the 0-1. Misses down low, 1-1 on deck. Right fielder Gavin Webby, who had that nice catch for out number 2 in the top of the first. Here's the 1-1. Lined right side, caught by Curao at first base. He gets off his feet and makes the catch for out number 2.
Well, there's a hard hit ball, and that first baseman is a pretty tall guy. A short of infielder wouldn't have caught that one. He robbed Morales of a base hit there.
2 out, nobody on. It'll bring up Gavin Webby, the junior from Pensacola, Florida. Webby's a really good hitter.
Now batting for the Colonels, the right fielder, number 2, Gavin Webby.
So Webby will bat with 2 outs and nobody on. First pitch in there, strike 1.
He's been one of the best players so far in the early season. He's hitting the ball good. We saw him play a good, nice defensive play. He throws the ball well, and he runs well. Good all-around player.
Batting 294 coming in. He looks at strike 2. And he's behind in the count, 0-2. Moore Mile has started well for Wagner here in the bottom half of the first inning. Hit by pitch. Webby on an 0-2 takes a ball inside off of the arm. That probably didn't feel real good, but he'll take it. And that'll bring up the big first baseman, Kyle North, who comes in hitting .222. And, Coach, he hit a bomb out of here to the right of the scoreboard last night against Long Island University. I was standing by the first base dugout, and that was one of those, when he hit it, you knew it was gone. North from Slidell, Louisiana.
By the sound, you probably could tell.
Oh, and it was into the wind. Wind was blowing in last night. It was a big fly ball. Moore Mile over to first base, and Webby is back in time.
He's a junior from Slidell, but he was a preseason all-conference player, but he, except for one early season game when he got 3 hits, he had not been hitting until last night. Maybe that home run will wake him up, and he's expected to be one of their best hitters.
Hitting coach Walt Jones, guy I've known for a long time, said North's been so close early in the season, and he finally got that big fly last night. So he has really worked hard and is coming on. And he's ahead in the count now, 1-0, 2 outs, runner on first. Moore Mile from the stretch will wheel and deal to first, and Webby is back with room to spare. Here at Ray E. Didier Field. Coach, as we go forward, you tell us a little more about Ray E. Didier. A legend all over Louisiana. Swing and a miss, a high hard went up high, and North couldn't lay off.
Kyle has started a game at catcher, and he's been playing first base. He can play, sometimes he DHs. He's a good all-around player as well as a good hitter.
Count 1-1, 2 outs. Colonels have a runner at first. Fastball just missed outside. Good location. Just a clean-up hitter. Moore Mile wants to be a little careful with his pitches. And this is a good spot to get a fastball to hit if you're Kyle North. We'll see if he gets one he can put the bat on. Pops it up left field. That's going to be a fly ball to Godino in left, and that will be out number 3. So Moore Mile, like Hatcher, gets out of the jam for the Seahawks. We've played one. We are scoreless at the Mardi Gras Invitational, Beads and Baseball on the Bayou. We're back after this pause on Pelican Sports TV.
Downtown Thibodaux, while historic in its architecture, is truly young at heart. A spirited nightlife and host of community events add to the lively atmosphere. Whether scouring the farmer's market for fresh produce, enjoying the sights and sounds of the downtown arts walk, or savoring the tastes at Big Boy's Main Street Cook-Off, a trip to downtown Thibodaux is always one to remember. Experience it for yourself when you make the trip to downtown Thibodaux.
We head to the second inning, and nothing but zeros on the scoreboard as you look out there. early in the game, I know, but rare when you get a shot at a scoreboard after the game has started and there's nothing but zeros up there. Don, you mentioned it. What a beautiful afternoon in Thibodaux to play a college baseball game.
Well, it is beautiful, and I talked to a lot of the fans that are here from New York City. They are just loving that heat and the sun, and they said actually the day before they left it was a decent weather, but nothing like they're getting here. Plus they're getting to sample some good Cajun cooking. They'll remember this trip forever.
Leading off the top of the
top half of the second inning will be the second baseman, Anthony Pecora, right-hander out of Mamaroneck, New York. Clean-up hitter, and he'll get things going against the Colonel pitcher, junior Caden Hatcher. So at the top of the second, we are ready to go here, and he pops it up high on the left side. Third baseman Cahill going to park underneath it. Wynn plays with it a little bit, but he makes the catch for out number one.
Well, he followed it good. The Wynn just kept drifting the ball toward the shortstop, and he could easily miss that ball. The shortstop probably could have gotten it easier, but it was his call. He made a nice play.
With one down in the inning, it brings to the plate the right
That'll bring up the right fielder,
20,
Kyle Kayla. Kayla will bat for the Seahawks. With one out and nobody on. Fastball misses away. It counts 1-0. Kyle Kayla from Brick, New Jersey. He's a junior. The 1-0 pitch from Hatcher. Fouled out of play right side, well into the parking lot over near the athletic offices, where you were for quite a few years.
Well, when I first got here, all of this land we're seeing was sugarcane fields, including where the football stadium is.
Wow.
And where the athletic building is. And so the campus ended much float, but it gradually kept getting deeper and deeper.
Ball well hit to right field, back on the warning track is Waby. It's off his glove and off the wall. That's going to be a double for Kyle Kayla. Well hit ball to right field. Waby had a beat on it, but it hit off of his glove and off of the wall. We'll call it a double with one out.
Well, it was a hard hit ball. He went back trying to get close to the fence. A little more, it could have carried out for a home run, so you're lucky it stayed in the base. He did his best to come up with it, but they held him to a double.
They'll bring up the first baseman, Brad Currow from Howell, New Jersey. He's a senior for the Seahawks, and he'll hit with one out, and he's got a teammate in scoring position down at second base. From the stretch, Hatcher will work. Fastball outside corner called, strike one. That's the key for Hatcher, get ahead in the count. That's a key for any pitcher, but especially his first start for the Nicholls Colonels. That's what Coach Seth Thibodaux told me earlier today. He's ready. Breaking ball misses. No, he called strike two. Caught the inside corner, and it's now 0-2 and a nice breaking ball.
Almost every one of his pitches has been on the outside, and that one fooled the batter, came right inside and looked like a ball, but caught the inside of the plate.
I thought it was a tad inside, but the umpire's a little closer to the plate than I. Now he's got an 0-2 pitch. We'll see what he does. Breaking ball away, and it is ball one. Good location on that pitch. Command of the pitches was another thing Coach Thibodaux talked about. So even though he's throwing a ball there, if he's throwing it where they want it, that's the command you're looking for. Swing and a miss, strike three. Nice pitch, down and away.
That strikeout brought to you by.
Well, Coach Thibodaux told me before the game that he throws between 88 and 92, and when he can mix up the breaking ball like he did, he'll be trouble the whole game for him if he can keep this up.
Bring up the third baseman, Nick Diamore, freshman out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Now batting the third baseman, number
He'll
3,
bat with 2 outs and a runner at
Diamore.
second for the Seahawks. Breaking ball in there for a strike, getting ahead in the count. Wind blowing out, the flags around the outfield fence, which represent the other teams in the Southland Conference, are all on the move. All look like they're starched out there, but in the big Old Glory American flag in center field, which is a big, heavy flag, it's whipping around really well, all blowing out. The 0-1 pitch fouled out of play to the screen behind the plate.
Wagner College is actually located in Staten Island, New York City, one of the boroughs. It's the 7th smallest college in Division I. It's a liberal arts college and very, very small, a little bit over 2,000 students.
Well, Hatcher's ahead 0-2 with 2 outs here. The batter Diamore asks home plate umpire for time. You must be awarded timeout after you ask for it. It's not an automatic that it happens. But anyway, here we go with an 0-2 from the stretch by Hatcher. They're going to say he went, and that's going to be strike 3. So Hatcher gets around that 1-out double to right field, and we'll head to the bottom of the second. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left for the Seahawks right here on Pelican Sports TV.
In the Manning household, we're pretty serious about sports. And just like the team at the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional, we're also very serious about sports safety. As the region's leader in First Comprehensive Sports Medicine Program, they've been in the game longer with certified athletic trainers, fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians, and neuro sports-trained experts. So play hard, play to win, but play it safe with the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodaux Regional.
We head to the bottom half of the second inning. 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up for the Colonels. Clark, Tucker, and Smith.
Jody Amaday, Nicholls Student Government Association.
Coach Walt Jones will head down to coach first base, and Coach Seth Thibodeau, the head coach, coaches third. That's become more common. You had a long stretch there where all the coaches stayed in the dugout and let assistants handle the bases, but Coach Thibodeau, one of those guys, likes to get in the third base box.
Well, he probably, when he was an assistant, always coached third. I don't know that for a fact. And he has confidence in himself, and a mistake there can cost you a run or two real easy. So he puts himself in charge, and he has a responsibility for it.
Here's the designated hitter, Lee Clark from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He steps in, fouls one out of play, left side, twisting, as I said, out of play. Clark, 5'11", 175, as I mentioned, the junior from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Steps back in, hitting from the left side to count 0-1. Mormile, the righty, on the bump for the Seahawks. Line drive left center field. That could get down for a base hit, and it does. First hit of the day for the Colonels goes to Lee Clark. That'll bring up the catcher, Alex Tucker, a senior out of Denham Springs, Louisiana. Tucker threw a couple of guys out last night when I was here at the ballpark, and he'll bat with no out, the runner on first. Coach Thibodeau likes small ball. He's not afraid to bunt. Be aware for a bunt here. Coach Seth Thibodeau loves small ball. First pitch inside, ball 1. There you see Alex Tucker, a senior out of Denham Springs, Louisiana, right outside of Baton Rouge.
Well, he went to Catholic High, and Catholic High has been a power in baseball in recent years, and a lot of players have gone on to college baseball from Catholic High, and several of them are catchers. He's not unusual that their catcher goes at some level of college baseball.
The 1-0 from Mormile. Ground ball, fouled, tapped down in. Seth Thibodeau will make the error in the third base coaching box.
Alex is also...
There's a good look at Coach Thibodeau.
Well, between my bad first pitch and his, we're not off to a very good start.
Y'all are a pair today.
That's right.
A couple of errors, huh? I don't want to pick on you there, Coach, but that was a little short.
I was quite short. You've been kind.
Hey, we don't have a replay, so you're good. Or I don't think we do. Hey, a 1-1 pitch, Mormile. Yep.
My family's going to hear about how I threw a hard strike.
Well, you know I do. I am on TV Wednesday night. Do you want me to talk about it or no?
Hey, the truth is the truth.
Of course, Tigers roar each and every Wednesday night on Pelican Sports TV from 8 to 10. And you can also check things out at YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting.
Is Jordy with you every Wednesday now?
Just about, yeah. Jordy Holtberg, former Tiger basketball player at LSU and longtime sportscaster. Here's a 2-1 pitch from Mormile. Now he's going to throw to first, and Clark is back in time.
But Jordy has an opinion on a lot of things, so I'm sure blends in right with you of all the subjects. And y'all covered more than LSU. Y'all cover all the state schools and Saints, everything else. It's an interesting program.
Yeah, two of us are able to talk. I'll just say it that way. Neither one of us are shy when we get by a microphone, but we have fun, and he does a fine job, and the crew does a great job at Pelican, and shows that it's about to roll into its 11th year, so we like it. There's a swing and a miss. Do we have a strike him out, throw him out? No, throw is through to second baseman. So we got a strike at the plate and a stolen base by Clark.
It would have been a close play, but the
almost
ball,
a strike him out, throw him out.
Yeah. But it was just couldn't hold on to the ball, and we have a runner in second for Nicholls.
Colonels have the runner in scoring position. Now you get a look at it, go right under the second baseman's glove, I should say, and it counts 2-2. Breaking ball misses away, and the count is full. Good eye at the plate by Tucker. Quade Smith, the Colonel left fielder, is on deck.
We mentioned Tucker went to Catholic High. He was a National Honor Society student, outstanding honor student at Catholic High.
Fouled back out of play over the grandstand. They've made lots of improvements here at Didier Field, and many, many more to come.
Well, you know, I was here when we built this baseball field. We got no state money, unlike most of the other schools. We had to raise money to do what we have, and for years it was a nice, comfortable ballpark, but didn't equal some of the other things. And now they have about a $10 million project to improve this thing. We've only seen a few of the improvements. They got lots more to come.
Base on balls issued to Tucker. That'll put Colonel runners at first and second. It'll bring up the left fielder, Quade Smith. Smith yet to get a hit this season. Coach Thibodeau like him to ring up the first one. Very fast outfielder. He'll bat from the left side with nobody out, runners at first and second, which can be a bunt situation as well. Smith, the senior out of Brandon, Mississippi, which is just north of Jackson. First pitch to Smith. Swinging away, fouled out of play left side.
Smith played at Hines Junior College before he transferred to Nicholls State, so he's an experienced player. By the way, he's related to Fred McAfee, the former running back, special team star for the Saints. I'm not sure how close they are, but they're relatives, and he's very proud of Fred. I'm sure Fred's proud of him.
He lives in Jackson, Mississippi, Brandon, Mississippi himself. I know people that know him. Here's the bunt situation. Gets away, didn't hit anything, so the runners will advance. That's a wild pitch. Smith squared to bunt, and it was a wild pitch.
He was struggling just to get out of the way.
Colonel runners both advance. They now have two in scoring position, and the count is 1-1 to Smith. Don't forget Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Tourism, LouisianaCajunBayou.com, proud to present the first Mardi Gras Invitational. And they look to build on this for years to come. Ground ball right side, that's going to score a run. Second baseman Pecora has it and throws to first, but the run is in. It's 1-0 Colonels.
Well, that's all Smith needed to do, get the ball on that side of the field and give the Colonels their first run. He did his job. You're not worrying, you'd like to get a hit, but if you can just get the ball on that side, advance the runners, you've done a good job.
So you got a runner at third now with one out. Colonel's up 1-0. It'll bring up third baseman Troy Cahill. Batting from the right side, wearing number 10. Good look at Troy.
With one down and a runner at third.
The junior from Bentonville, Arkansas.
Number 10, Troy Cahill.
And they want him to hit a ball to the right side, to hit one in the air and score this other run. Colonels now lead 1-0 bottom of the second. Fastball called strike one, outside corner. Second baseman Ethan Valdez on deck for the Colonels. Swing and a miss, went right through the fastball, and the count is 0-2 to Cahill. See what Cahill can do here on an 0-2 pitch. Got to protect the plate. Pitch just misses outside. It's 1-2.
The bottom of the batting order has not produced hitting-wise for the Colonels, and they need to get better all the way down to put some runs together and have a big inning.
Breaking ball gets away, but not enough for the runner to advance. Not a lot of room between home plate and the backstop here.
No, it would be hard.
It's shorter than a lot of ballparks.
It is shorter, and unless you see the ball ricocheting off at an angle, you're better off not trying it. Some stadiums have so much room that once you see a wild pitch like that, it's a cinch run. This place is not like that.
Good read by Tucker, the runner at third. The count is now 2-2 with one out. And Cahill digs back in. Pitch down low, kind of close, but the count's full. A few guys in the Wagner dugout might have wanted that pitch. The Wagner Seahawks, as you said, from Staten Island, New York. 3 New York teams, 3 Louisiana teams here at the Mardi Gras Invitational. Obviously Nicholls, along with Southern and Grambling. Grambling won earlier today on a walk-off wild pitch. Fouled out of play right side. Grambling beat Hofstra by a score of 8-7. Had runners on second and third with one out in the bottom of the ninth of a 7-7 game. Wild pitch gets away. Grambling dashes in, scores the winning run, and picks up that win for Coach Cooper and the G-State Tigers. Full count to Cahill. And he wants timeout.
We have to compliment Coach Thibodeau, and this has been a real team effort to put on an event like that with that many teams. They have games all day. Every hotel, I understand, is booked in the city. All 4.
Yeah, and I talked to Coach Carone before the game. He said he couldn't compliment Coach Thibodeau and the Nicholls folks enough. The hospitality. I'll mention how good the food is, and that they have thoroughly enjoyed their trip. When they came down here Wednesday, practiced at Southland Field, which is not far from here, here in Thibodaux. That was the first time since November they were on grass and dirt, being up there in Staten Island, New York. And then this is their 3rd game of the Mardi Gras Invitational. They lost to the Southern Jaguars. They beat Grambling State, and now they're playing Nicholls. It's kind of 3 teams Louisiana, 3 teams New York.
Well, the real goal is to play baseball, but they have a group of boosters that are cooking for both teams, and they cook in real Cajun food. So these people, not only are they enjoying the weather, they're enjoying the food. But it takes a lot of effort, and that's why it's a team effort. Also, to sponsor an event like that, they have sponsors from almost every phase of this community that are behind it. It's really that's something that Thibodeau does best. But they have done their best this week.
Louisiana Cajun Bayou Tourism, they have got it done. You see their logo right there to the left of the small scoreboard. Coach Jim Carone went out there to try to settle his freshman pitcher Moormile down. Chris Moormile just said, hey, settle down. It's only the 2nd inning. Take a couple of breaths. You're right. Now batting for Nicholls will be the second baseman, Ethan Valdez.
The second baseman, number 3, Ethan Valdez.
Runners at first and third with one out. We'll see if we get some situation here, get some runner movement. First pitch down low, ball 1 to Valdez. Top of the order, Chet Niehaus on deck for Nicholls.
Before the game, I asked several of the players their favorite current player. Not surprising, he picked Jose Oliva from Astros, who's a short second baseman. And his best Hall of Fame player was Ozzie Smith, the shortstop.
Ground ball right side, second baseman's got it, flipped to short, over to first, and that's an inning-ending double play. Nice turn in the middle, and out of the jam is Moormile with a beautiful double play. As Pecora flipped it to, watch, Pecora's going to flip it to Mazio across the corral, get him by a full step for the double play. But the Colonels strike with a run on 1 hit, and there were no errors and 1 man left. We'll head to the 3rd inning with Don Landry. I'm Tommy Chrysler, Pelican Sports TV.
Up and down the bayou. That's how we tell you to get from one place to the other. It's a little different, but so are we in Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. And once you get here, you'll understand why our Cajun runs a little deeper. Find a piece of our story on swamp tours, fishing boats, at festivals, attractions, and restaurants. Visit lacajunbayou.com to plan your trip today. Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Rich, natural, unapologetically Cajun. Just south of New Orleans, where Cajun runs deep.
All right, welcome back to the Mardi Gras Invitational, brought to you by LouisianaCajunBayou.com, Louisiana Cajun Bayou Tourism. We head to the top half of the third inning. Colonels now have a one-run lead for their junior pitcher, Caden Hatcher, who only used 19 pitches to get through the first 2 innings, and we'll see how he can wheel and deal here in the top half of the third inning.
Tommy, you know a good bit about my career here. You've talked about it, but one thing you don't know, I was the first chairman of the Lafourche Parish Tourist Commission. We were formed when the World Fair was coming to New Orleans. So I can appreciate all these people that get behind bringing events to this area.
John Meade, the designated hitter, will lead off the top of the third for the Wagner Seahawks. Meade from New Jersey fouls one into netting behind home, and the count is 0-1. Meade, the 8-hole hitter. Sean Mazzio, the shortstop, waits on deck for the Seahawks. The 0-1 pitch from Hatcher. Right back at him. He gloves it. Step, throw, out number 1.
Well, he played that perfect. It was to the right side, his throwing side, but he moved over, got in front of it, made a nice throw to first base, and got him off to a good start.
That'll bring up the shortstop, Sean Mazzio, the shortstop, 5'11", 170 out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. Mazzio will hit with 1 out and nobody on. Top half of inning number 3. Fastball in there with Steve, strike 1. Wind still blowing out at a pretty good pace. Pitch high and all the way to the backstop up over his head. That one got away from Hatcher.
I mentioned he's been throwing a lot outside. That was far from it. That was the opposite extreme.
Every now and then it gets away from you out there. I can attest to that. So the count's now 1-1. Each team with a hit, but the Colonels have a run. The 1-1 pitch. Drag bunt. Pitcher going to have to get off the mound, field it, step throw again. We got out number 2.
Another very nice play by the pitcher. The batter tried to drag bunt. He needed to get it down the line a little bit. Here's the replay. You'll see him moving to his right. Makes a perfect throw to the first baseman and 2 away.
That'll bring up the top of the order. Joe Silverstone, the center fielder who popped up to the first baseman back in the first inning. From Manlapan, New Jersey, he'll hit with 2 outs, nobody on. Breaking ball missed inside. Count 1-0. Leadoff hitter Joe Silverstone, center fielder. Pitch way outside, goes all the way to the backstop. Ball boy will hustle up and get it. Yeah, I love seeing ball boys at the ballpark. Young kids, they get to get in the college dugout and be around the guys. It's a cool thing, I believe. 2-0 pitch, breaks, misses outside. It's now 3-0. 2 out, nobody on. Steve, strike 1.
Tommy, you mentioned Raymond Didier. He will be inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame on June 24th. We certainly encourage as many of the Colonel fans, people that ex-players, fans that knew him, both at the LSU and ULL, to attend that. And I feel like he should have been elected a long time ago, but he's in now, and we're proud of that and looking forward to his induction.
That's going to be a base hit left side, clean single in the 5-6 hole. Silverstone fights off the full count to get the second hit of the afternoon for the Seahawks. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Anthony Godino. Here, you can take a look.
He hit it hard between short and third. Morales, the shortstop, made a good effort to try to get to it, but it was out of his reach, a clear base hit.
Godino flied out to right field his first at-bat, that diving catch by Webby near the chalk down the right field line, near the right field, the Wagner bullpen.
Number 44,
So
Anthony
with 2
Godino.
outs, Godino will step in. First pitch, ball outside, missed with the fastball. Count 1-0. Hatcher from the stretch. Line drive off his glove, and it'll get to the second baseman, who will make a throw to first but not have time. That's a base hit. Caught a little bit of the pitcher's glove, slowed it up a tad, but the Seahawks will have runners at first and second. Here, take a look at the replay.
All right, he makes a good effort to stop the ball. Couldn't get it. Second baseman had no play at second with the runner. Tried to make an off-balance throw, fall into the right. Had no chance to throw out the runner at first.
They bring up the catcher, Phil Capper, who flied out to left field back in the first inning. He'll hit with 2 outs, runners at first and second for the Seahawks of Wagner College. First pitch to Capra, misses outside with the fastball. Count 1-0.
First thing you see when you come into this stadium is a monument dedicated to Raymond E. Didier, and money was raised strictly from his former players. That's how beloved he was, and they were very proud of that. And he died way too young.
Fastball misses down. Count 2-0. Again, runners at first and second. 2 outs here, top of the third. .20 pitch from Hatcher is down for ball 3, and he has dug a little hole here, and his catcher Tucker is going to go out and visit with him. I'll see some action stirring in the Nicholls bullpen down the left field corner. They'll get a couple of guys up.
Tommy, what would you say the average number of pitchers a college team now has on the roster? 35 is what they can have total, am I right?
35 total.
How many pitchers you would think?
It's probably 17 or 18. 4 catchers, and the rest play everything else. Here's a 3-0 pitch. See if Capper's got a green light. He does not, and he looks at strike 1 as Hatcher just pours it down the middle of the plate. Count now 3-1. Sometimes in the conference play, you're limited. You can only dress so many for a conference game, usually 27 or 28, depending on which conference. But here's a 3-1 pitch from Hatcher. Misses inside, and that's going to load the bases. It's going to be full of Seahawks. Here in the top half of the third inning. We have a little visit to the mound by the pitching coach. For the Colonels, they got to try to settle Hatcher down. Again, they got some work in the guys stirring it up in the bullpen. We'll try to get a number down there for you. Looks like a right-hander, Adam Tarver, who's from Baton Rouge, Parkview Baptist School. It appears to be getting loose for the Colonels in the left field corner. He's going to bring up the second baseman, Anthony Pecora, who popped up to the third baseman back in the second inning. The bases are full. The bases are full of Seahawks with Pecora coming up.
Brings to the plate the second baseman, number 15, Anthony Pecora.
Hatcher will go from the windup. Most coaches will tell a guy whatever he's most comfortable with the bases loaded, wind up or stretch, go with it. And Hatcher's going to choose to wind up, and Pecora will break his rhythm, asking for the timeout there. Kyle Kayla on deck for the Seahawks. First pitch from Hatcher to Pecora. Fastball down. That's 5 straight he's missed with.
Tommy, you were pitching Southeastern. Would you be pitching out of the windup or the stretch when you were playing?
I was a lefty, so I would wind up because I couldn't see the guy over at third anyway. There's a breaking ball. You know, if I'm stretching, I couldn't see him, so I always wound up with a guy on third. I didn't have a big wind up anyway. And I had lots of guys on third when I pitched, I'll just tell you that. But all right, the 1-1 pitch here from Hatcher is a called strike on the outside corner. Make the count 1-2. That was a pitch Hatcher needed, and he got it. See if he can get out of this jam he has worked himself into. To Pecora to 1-2. Breaking ball hit to first base. Noss got it. He'll step on the bag, and the Colonels will get out of the jam.
And that's the end of the top of the third.
That was a big play. Ball was hit down the first base line. The first baseman moved to his left, caught it, touched the bag, and Colonels are out of the inning.
They got out of that jam. It's we'll head to the bottom half of the third inning. Nicholls 1, Wagner 0 with Don Landry. I'm Tommy Krysan, and you are watching Pelican Sports TV. Bottom half of the third inning, and the Colonels will go back to the top of their order. Center fielder Chet Niehaus, who grounded out to the shortstop in the bottom of the first. He's going to lead things off for the Colonels. It'll be Niehaus, Morales, Waby. 1, 2, 3 for the Colonels in the top of the third. Bottom of the third, excuse me.
Niehaus listed his favorite player as Mike Trout, and his favorite Hall of Fame player is Ken Griffey Jr. Good choices.
Yeah, Ken Griffey Jr., one of my favorite players of all time. The kid had fun and played the game like not many people did. Almost a unanimous choice into the Hall of Fame. One of my favorite guys to watch play this great game.
The center fielder, number 5.
Niehaus from Hammond will step in. He's a junior with very good speed. If he hits a slow roller, he'll beat it out. Fastball misses up, ball 1. Again, shortstop Joey Morales on deck. Chris Mormile, the freshman for the Seahawks, wheels and deals, fouled out of play left side down near the covered batting cages here at Didier Field. Beautiful afternoon. We keep saying it, but that's how beautiful it is here in Thibodaux, Louisiana. The 1-1. Thought drag bunt, tapped it foul. The count will be 1-2.
You mentioned how he could run, so sure he'll try to bunt
well,
often.
He's peeking at a third baseman. He sees him, a couple steps behind a bag there, and he's just letting him know, hey, I will lay this thing down if you stay back there. Good baseball. He's going to hit it to the third baseman, who's going to kick it, literally. We'll see how they score that, but Niehaus is going to reach first base to lead off the bottom of the third.
He didn't need his speed to beat that one out. It was well hit to the third baseman who couldn't get hold of it. Here's the replay of it right at him. He knocks it down, moves over to try to get it. There's no play at that time.
They have ruled it an error on the third baseman, Diamore. So Niehaus reaches on the error. It'll bring up Joey Morales, who lined out to first, back into first. And with nobody out, he'll step in and hit. Could have a bunt situation. Could have a hit and run with the hole on the right side there. Morales, the junior out of Fort Myers, Florida.
Morales was a 4-year letterman at Fort Myers and played on 2 district championship teams.
Chris Mormile, the freshman, works from the stretch. Ground ball in the middle of the infield to shortstop. Mazio to Pecora to first base, and there's the old 6-4-3 double play.
Well, it wasn't hit that hard, but it was in the right position, and it was easy double play. Here you see the ball going to shortstop, flips to second, good throw to first base. Double play gets him out of somewhat trouble.
2 out, nobody on to bring up right fielder Gavin Webby. He was hit by a pitch back in the first inning and reached base that way. He'll bat with 2 outs and nobody on.
2, Gavin Webby.
Webby's a good ball player, and he lets the first pitch go all the way to the screen behind the plate. High hard when that missed the catcher.
Gavin played on the state championship team in 13 and the runner-up team in 14 in Pensacola.
1-0 pitch. Fooled him a little bit with the breaking ball, count 1-1. First baseman Kyle North on deck for Nicholls. The 1-1 pitch. In there, breaking ball, call strike 2. Just dumped it in the strike zone. More mile ahead in the count. Nobody on, 2 outs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Call strike 3, burn the outside corner. North will go down looking as it's with the double play, a quick inning for the Nicholls Colonels. We have completed 3 in the Mardi Gras Invitational, brought to you by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Tourism and the other great sponsors. We'll take a break and come back and roll on to the 4th inning here at Raymond E. Didier Field in Thibodaux, Louisiana on Pelican Sports TV.
For the Baton Rouge Lafayette.
Archie, did you know that Louisiana is ranked 48th in the U.S. for overall health?
Well, Thibodaux Regional is leading the way for a significant change with the building of the state-of-the-art wellness center.
Yeah, we're really excited about the 242,000 square foot medically integrated facility, which is unlike any in the region or the state.
The Wellness Center of Thibodaux Regional, a game changer to help people feel better, work better, and live better.
We head off to the 4th inning at the Mardi Gras Invitational. Top of the 4th inning, 1-0 Nicholls. Caden Hatcher has needed 41 pitches to get through the first 3 innings. That's a very, very good ratio. That pitching coach, Zach Butler, would be very happy about. We'll see if he can keep that up. Leading off the top of the 4th inning for the Seahawks will be the right fielder, Kyle Kayla. He hit a double to right and was stranded back in the 2nd inning.
Kyle Kayla.
You'll sit here.
Ground ball left side is foul ball.
No.
That foul ball brought to you by Spars, downtown Thibodaux.
Count 0-1 to Kayla, the right fielder for the Seahawks. I'm joined by a very special guest now for a lot of reasons. I'll tell you about it after this pitch.
Let me tell it, Tommy.
No. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop. Morales going to get off of his glove, and Kayla will reach first base on the error by the shortstop. It's my pleasure now to be joined by the head football coach of the Nicholls Colonels. You see the player get off the shortstop's glove, Morales. Tim Rebo, guy I've known for a long time. We were teammates some 30-something years ago, whatever it was. He's the head football coach of the Nicholls Colonels. Tim, welcome to the baseball broadcast.
Hey, Tommy, thanks for having me, man. Always special to be here with you. I'm looking down in the bullpen. I think I see us down there.
We were down there a few years ago. You were a catcher and I was a pitcher, and I've told a few people that story here in Thibodaux today, and they're like, really? I said, yeah, that's a fact. But no, you've coached football for a long time, from Destrehan High to Nicholls here as an assistant, Louisiana Monroe, Louisiana Lafayette. Now you're back here with the Colonels as a head coach. And I first want to ask you about the season last year. I caught you guys on TV several times against the Georgia Bulldogs and against Southeastern, among others. What did you think of that season last year as a whole, now that you've had a little time to digest it?
Well, when you look back, we made some progress. We did some good things, and we ended up 5-6. We finished and 5-4 in the conference, which was really, we were picked to finish really down there in the conference. So we did some good things. We didn't finish as strong as we wanted to, losing that last game. Getting a winning season, 6-5, would have really been special. But we making some good progress, and really proud of our effort last year.
Throw over to first base. Tell me about spring practice. What's the goals and the objectives? I know it's coming up soon.
Well, we in our off-season workout program right now, and Coach Greg Carrasquillo got our guys really working out 4 days a week and doing a good job. We'll start spring here on March the 15th and try to get 15 good days in. And nice little throw.
We got a nice throw out by Tucker, who's going to catch the runner. Going to catch Kyle Kaler trying to steal. That's a caught stealing. Good throw by Tucker from behind the dish. And that'll be the first out here in the top half of the fourth inning.
Yeah, so we'll have our spring game on April the 8th on Saturday. And,
at Guidry Stadium.
We have a lot of guys returning. But, always the goal in the spring, there's a base hit up the middle. Huh? Nice shot.
Right through the pitcher's legs. Huh? That's what you call hitting it back up the middle, huh?
Yeah, so what we'll try to do, Tommy, is as always, a lot of guys returning, which is good, but we got some guys that got to step up. Some guys that redshirted last year, some young guys that played. Try to get some depth and get some quality backups, because you need a lot of guys during the year. But when you got your starting quarterback back, who's a true freshman, and Chase 4K, and he's coming back, and you have him for the next 3 years, there's a lot of positive things happening.
Nick Diamore, the third baseman for the Seahawks, will step in. He struck out swinging back in the second. One out, runner on first for the Seahawks, and he looks at a breaking ball called strike one from Caden Hatcher, the big right-hander for the Colonels.
It's good to come out to the ballpark, and Coach Seth Thibodeau has done a great job. And I try to follow him doing some of the things that he's done. And we came out as a team the other night, Thursday night. We had all of our guys here supporting them. We were dressed up in our Mardi Gras costumes and getting a little support. And it's just a great day at the ballpark.
Well, a lot of good things happening here in the athletic department at Nicholls. The new athletic director, Matt Rohn, who I met last night, and he's going to join me in a couple of innings here. He's really excited about getting some things done in the big picture and the little picture going forward with the Colonel Athletic Department. And there's strike three swinging to Nick Diamore for out number 2. Good job, good pitch by Hatcher to bring up the designated hitter, John Meade.
But listen, we have to do something. As friends, as we go back a long way, you have to put in a couple good words with the AD for me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I did that already. Yeah, you don't want to know the I told him the good story. I left some of the others out.
Well, thank you, because I'm bucking for a raise, so maybe that'll help me. He don't need the bad stories.
Oh, no, I told him all the good ones. Once you get the raise, I'll toss in another one. Foul ball out of play. Meade, the DH, who grounded out to the pitcher back in the third inning. So,
no, he's brought a lot of life and a lot of
He just got here in November.
Yeah.
Near the end of y'all season, right before the Southeastern game.
Yep, he's done a lot of good things, and we're progressing forward and really excited about him. He's out in the public. And he's going to be really, really good for us.
He's a former college football player, so that's got to be right up your alley there.
Well, yeah, and I tell Seth this all the time, and I tell Richie Riley in basketball, don't worry. He's all for athletics, but he loves football the most. I make sure.
Hey, he played at Virginia Tech. He played at Southern Utah. Ground ball to Morales at short, who will flip to second for the force out, and that'll do it for the Seahawks here in the top half of the fourth inning. And we'll keep it right here as we visit with Coach Tim Rebo as we head to the fourth. Colonels lead 1-0, and the Colonels will send North, Clark, and Tucker to the plate. All right, let's talk about the football schedule next year. You guys got a challenging schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. We're always going to have to play a big game down the road. We did some things. We moved some games around. We open up a conference opener against McNeese. It'll be a Thursday night game, and that's going to be on TV, so we're going to get started right off the bat. And then we got to go play that little team out in Texas, Texas A&M. We play the Aggies on week 2. And then we come back home with Prairie View, and then we get into our conference schedule next year. So our conference is really, really talented. There's a lot of good football teams.
And the Southland Conference has always been a good baseball conference, but football across the board has always been raising up a notch, including you guys going 5-4 in conference play last year after being picked not to go 5-4. So it's a good football conference, and it's one of those conferences where it's tough to win on the road, and you got to play every weekend.
You know, I'm glad you said that, because one of our goals going into every year is to win every home game. And I tell those guys that if you win every home game, you win in 5 games right off the bat. And then you go steal 1 or 2 in a row in conference, and you can have your successful season. But look, the top teams in the conference the last couple of years, you know, Sam Houston, you know, played for the national championship, done a great job. The McNeese Cowboys, we want to get to that level, and we have to beat one of those guys if we want to do that.
Kyle North, first baseman, will lead off for the Colonels here in the bottom of the 4th. Colonels only have 1 hit, but they have the only run in the game as well.
Let me see if I can get Kyle get a big fly ball.
He hit a big one last night out of here.
Yeah,
I was here.
yeah.
It went right to the right of the scoreboard into the wind last night.
Well, you know, not many times we have the wind blowing out here at Didier Field, and we've seen it where. So hopefully we can get a big one out right now.
Well, Coach Walt Jones, great guy in his own right. I've known Walt for many years. Said North's been coming, and he finally, pounded one last night as he check swings kind of on a fastball and accounts 2-1 as he leads off the bottom of the 4th. Tim Rebo, the head football coach of the Colonels, sitting in with us for a moment or two here. Ball 3 up high. What's the main objective in spring practice? Just get some guys some reps and don't get anybody hurt.
Injury,
the main objective.
That is one of the main things, injuries, and if we can stay away from that. Last year when we go back and we looked at it, when we looked at it, we had a lot of guys out that had some off-season surgeries, and we don't have as many this year. So we got some guys that can get some good work in. And again, I said find some guys that can help you in some games, put them in some tough situations. Keep working. We're gonna have a little fun this spring too. You know, I mean, it's a grind year round. Our guys do it, and hopefully we have a good spring game on April the 8th.
And that'll be in Guidry Stadium. That's a Saturday. You got a kickoff time set up?
Yeah, we'll usually do it that morning. 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll have a good little event and try to get a bunch of the fans out. And we try not to compete against each other in the sports. You know, basketball's playing today, and I know
they got a doubleheader against Southeastern on the other side of campus.
I just came from. Let me give a shout out to our women's basketball team. Man, Coach Doobie plays on. Has done a fantastic job. And they beat Southeastern. I mean, it was almost about like a 50-point win today. So it was a really, really good win for us. But we try not to schedule opposite each other. So I know that weekend we're playing, I think baseball's out of town. So we try to get everybody in together.
Kyle North draws the base on balls to lead off things for the Colonels here in the bottom of the 4th. It'll bring up Lee Clark, who singled and scored the only Colonel run back in the 2nd inning. Clark will bat from the left side with nobody out and his teammate on first. He's a junior out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Chris Mormile, the freshman, still on the bump for the Seahawks, misses outside. No activity down in the right field corner in the Seahawk bullpen. So Coach Jim Carone going to stick with Mormile.
Boy, Tommy, I tell you, y'all need to come do a couple games more often if you bring us this kind of weather out here. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, well, we'll come down here anytime you're ready. In fact, in my conversations with Matt Roan, you and him, you don't know this yet, but y'all going to come up and go on the TV show with me, and we'll make it like Nicholls night, and we'll talk football for an hour, then we'll let Matt talk for an hour. You in for that? I'm kind of blindsiding you in the air.
No, I'm definitely in for that, because I always like when I go to Baton Rouge, you always buy me a meal and stuff, so it'll be
Really? I don't remember. I thought you bought me.
Don't you owe me a few?
Yeah,
I think,
probably,
yeah.
But no, and we'll head on. We'll have some fun. We'll make it like Nicholls night. We'll talk football, and we'll let Matt talk what he wants to talk about. That's no problem. Ground ball foul, right side.
Make that play, Walt. Gotta stick your hand out there. A little hot for him over there down the first base line.
Walt's a good guy, the hitting coach for the Colonels, handling the first base box down there.
Yeah, we have a very, very good relationship. All the coaches and assistants all get along. Baseball is housed in us with the football coaches.
Well, your office is right across the hall from Seth's,
right,
so,
right.
Hey, and all the coaches, I've been in the building many times. Y'all are all in there, so that's a good deal. Fouled out of play, left side. Count will remain 1-2 to Lee Clark. Alex Tucker on deck for the Colonels here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And it was great to see the support in the community for this Mardi Gras Invitational, and the support has helped your football program. I know the Manning Passing Academy has been a big thing for you too.
Yes, that and the O-line, D-line camp that's been around here
Coach
for almost
Pete Jenkins.
Yes, absolutely. And that was, when I was here in 1995 and the camp was going strong, we used to work with Coach Pete and Carl Dunbar and all those guys. So, and it's still going strong. And, it's all about building those relationships, and that's what we've done. And, recruiting is such a big part for us, and we get to see all those guys. So,
I remember, a story when you were on the staff here with Darren Barbier, foul ball twisting towards the left fielder who will come on Godino. He'll make the catch for out number 1. I tell the story back in the day, and you were, as there was y'all played Southern, who was very, very good at the time under Pete Richardson, and y'all beat them 14-0.
Absolutely.
You got me on the sidelines, and then we all went to Darren's house after. You remember that?
I do remember
I'm not
that.
telling any more after we got to Darren's house.
I remember the shutout, Tommy, right here.
14-0, Guidry Stadium. I was there. You got me on the sidelines that night.
It was always a good rivalry with Southern, and we got to try to get that back if we can. I know I talked to Dawson Odoms, who's a great guy, doing a fantastic job at Southern.
We at Pelican produced the Dawson Odoms Coaches Show on TV.
So we're talking about it and say, hey, man, we got to try to see if we can get it back together and get that rivalry going again, because it's close. They're
going to bring some fans.
Exactly.
You're going to bring some fans if you go up there to play them out at A.W. Mumford Stadium.
You know how scheduling too. Oh, okay.
Attempted pickoff gets away, and North is going to go on down to second base. Alex Tucker at the plate for the Colonels.
But anytime you can play teams that's close and within your area, it creates a little rivalry, and it helps out. Look, everybody knows where we are in the FCS programs and what we got to do, and so to play close teams like that can help us. Scheduling too is done so far in advance,
right?
And like we have our schedule set next year. We're already talking about 2021 and 2022 schedules, but over in 18 and 19, we're going to Tulane in 18, which we've never played before. So we'll be and have our fan base go to New Orleans, which will be a good thing.
Ground ball, third baseman Diamore's
nice
got it. He scoops it up, throws it across the diamond for out number 2. Nice play by Diamore at third. That ball was well hit, but he stayed with it and made the play for out number 2, and the runner was unable to advance. So with 2 outs, it'll bring up the left fielder, Quade Smith. Smith grounded out to second, but he knocked in a run back in the second inning, the lone Colonel run. And he'd like to get a 2-out here, hit here, and knock in another one.
Down in the end, and it brings to the plate the left fielder, number 1.
So our scheduling is a big part. We're going to go to Baton Rouge in 2020. That's been in the works, and we've never played LSU before.
LSU.
And so to get those guys on the schedule, it's always good.
Well, you played the Georgia Bulldogs last year. You should have beat them. Ground ball back to the mound to the pitcher, feels it cleanly, and that's going to be out number 3. Coach Tim Rebo, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. And can I say it? Ladies and gentlemen, he's doing all this on his birthday. My old partner on his birthday, Coach Tim Rebo of the Nicholls Colonels. Thank you for joining us, Tim, and we'll be in touch real soon.
All right, thank you, buddy. Good seeing you, man.
All right, we'll go to a break. End of 4 innings. Colonels 1, Seahawks nothing.
If you're looking for the latest
Downtown Thibodaux, while historic in its architecture, is truly young at heart. A spirited nightlife and host of community events add to the lively atmosphere. Whether scouring the farmer's market for fresh produce, enjoying the sights and sounds of the downtown arts walk, or savoring the tastes at Big Boy's Main Street Cook-Off, a trip to downtown Thibodaux is always one to remember. Experience it for yourself when you make the trip to downtown Thibodaux.
We head off to the 5th inning. Don Landry back behind the microphone. Appreciate football coach Tim Rebo jumping in on his birthday, Don. How about that?
Well, that was a surprise. He was the right coach at the right time in the right place. He probably should have been hired years before because he loves this area. His son played baseball here. He coached here. His brother, Rusty, was one of our first superstars, played with the Saints a little bit. and he's what we needed. We don't have the budget here to be recruiting nationally, and he has all the connections. He's recruiting basically from the state, and I've seen more enthusiasm since he took over than we saw in previous years.
Sean Mazzio, the Seahawks shortstop, will lead off the top of the 5th inning here. Caden Hatcher still on the bump for the Colonels, and here's a high pop-up to the second baseman, Valdez. He'll camp underneath it in short right field, and one pitch, one out in the top half of the 5th inning.
You know, the Nicholls feels very fortunate now. They love Tim. They're very impressed with the new basketball coach, Ricky Riley. Seth Thibodeau, we've talked about how much he's respected. And then Coach mentioned DB Plaisance, the women's coach, and she's had more success than
she's
most of our
also
women's
at Southeastern. She was at Southeastern playing basketball when I was up there.
Was she a good player? Because the daughter was a very good player at LSU.
Yeah, DB Plaisance. There's a breaking ball from Hatcher for strike one to Joe Silverstone, the leadoff hitter and center fielder for Wagner. He is 1 for 2. He popped up. He also had a single in today's game, and there is strike two from Hatcher, getting ahead in the count. Hatcher looks really to have settled into a rhythm here. He's gotten out of a couple of jams, and that'll build your confidence in a hurry. And there on the 0-2 pitch, he shows good command and misses down and away. Good block by the catcher, Tucker, behind the plate. Good work there on an 0-2 pitch that sometimes people you don't notice the good work there. Ball went where it was supposed to be, catcher blocked it. And he comes back with a breaking ball in the strike zone that forces Silverstone to swing and miss, and that is quickly out number 2. And it'll bring up the left fielder, Anthony Godino, who flied to right, and he singled 1 for 2 on the afternoon.
I'm sure Coach Thibodeau's pleased with the outing he's had of this pitcher making his debut. It's been very impressive.
So Godino from Thornwood, New York, he's a junior. He'll step in. Hit with 2 outs and nobody on. Hatcher working quickly. Breaking ball just misses down for ball 1.
Coach Thibodeau is the 8th head coach in Nicholls baseball history. And one thing I want to mention, the group he's most popular with are the youth coaches around here. He does everything to promote their programs, from clinics to helping them to getting them here to use their batting cage, batting machines. He really has gone out of his work to help promote youth baseball in this area.
I've known Seth for many years now and always enjoy visiting with him. I was down here a couple years ago to be the voice of the Colonels for a baseball doubleheader when they had a basketball-baseball conflict. I called a couple of games on the radio here against Utah a few years back. So I was like the voice of the Colonels for a day. But baseball, a doubleheader, they split the doubleheader. Yeah. I didn't get him two W's. I see the Southern Jaguar baseball team arriving here at the park. They will play Long Island University out of Brooklyn at 7 p.m. tonight. And there's a 2-out single by Godino, 5th hit of the afternoon for the Seahawks.
It was a hard hit ball between short and third. Neither infielder had any chance to get a clear base hit.
Grambling beat Hofstra earlier today, 8-7, a walk-off wild pitch. You see the clean single to left. Quade Smith, the left fielder, will throw it back in. And then later tonight, Southern Jaguars, Coach Roger Kadar, they'll play at Long Island University out of Brooklyn. And there's one more game tomorrow here as a part of the Mardi Gras Invitational. Here's the catcher Capra from North Salem, New York, with 2 outs and a runner at first. Capra is 0 for 1. He's flied to left field. He has also walked.
Another area Coach Thibodeau's done a good job on fundraising. They recently held their first pitch banquet. In the past, they have one individual star speaker like Clipper Jones, Will Clark, Skip Bergman, Dale Brown. This time he did something a little different. This time he had a panel. He had Bucky Dent, former Yankees great, Jim Edmonds, former Cardinal great, and then he had 2 ex-major leaguers from Nicholls State, Mike Moeller and Scott Sanders, and Bobby Dickerson, who's the third base coach for the Baltimore Orioles. So he did with a panel. It was a sold-out event and very popular.
Swing and a miss makes the count 1 and 2. Coach Thibodeau invited me to that banquet. I was unable to attend, but I really missed out on seeing all those baseball guys. I would have enjoyed it. I couldn't get to Thibodeau that particular night.
Well, each one spoke and answered questions, and then they had like a panel discussion with all of them sitting there, and it was very interesting.
Here's the 2-1 pitch from Hatcher. to Capra. Called a strike on the outside corner, makes it 2-2.
Nicholls has had 4 players that played here that became major league players rather. The first one was Darrell Hamilton. His brother John was a star basketball player here at Nicholls. Scott Sanders made it to the big leagues. His dad was Jerry Sanders, who was my assistant for 10 years and followed me as a head coach in basketball.
Pitch down low for ball 3. Runner will head on down to second.
Then Mike Moeller, who I know you know well, made the big leagues. And then the last one was Justin Spira. His dad is Chris Spira, who was an all-star shortstop in the Major League Ball. So we had 4 of them that have played here and became Major League players.
Saw Mike Moeller here at the ballpark last night. Here's the 3-2 pitch. First base is open. Ground ball off the pitcher's glove. Shortstop's going to get it. He's got to eat it. That's going to be a base hit and put runners at first and third.
That's the second time Hatcher almost came up with a big play. The ball hit hard right to him. It dribbled out to Morales. You'll see Morales charging hard. Tried to pick it up with his bare hand, but he had no play, so he did the wise thing in not making the throw.
Adam Tarver again throwing in the bullpen, the sophomore out of Parkview Baptist. First and third, 2 outs, top of the 5th. Second baseman Anthony Pecora will bat. He's 0 for 2. He popped up and grounded out earlier in the game, and he'll hit with 2 outs. Runners at first and third, so Hatcher will have to work from the stretch. Pecora going to step in.
We also had 3 players that became major leaguers, but we don't count them in the 4. Champ Summers was a longtime major league player and batting coach for the Yankees. He played only basketball here, not baseball, so we don't count him. Terry Burrows played here, but then transferred to McNeese, so they list him as their major leaguer. He became the longtime head coach in McNeese. And the last one is Bobby Dickerson, who played here, and Bobby is currently third base, the bench coach, actually, I believe, for the Baltimore Orioles.
Count 1-1 now to Pecora, the second baseman. Two outs. Another mini jam, if you will. I guess when a guy on third, it's a jam. We'll see if Hatcher, he's gotten out of a couple of jams already in the ball game. We'll see. The pitch, breaking ball, misses just up, just above the strike zone. And that'll make the count 2-1. Gonna need a good pitch right here by Hatcher. Fastball inside corner for strike 2. That was the good pitch he needed, as he really painted that inside corner with a good fastball, and I believe Pecora was looking away because he just let it happen. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball left side, going to go foul through the third base coaching box.
That foul ball brought to you by Spars.
And the count will remain 2-2. Two outs, runners on the corners for the Seahawks of Wagner College. From Staten Island, New York. The pitch, fouled back into the screen behind home plate. The count will remain 2-2. The stretch, the pitch. Breaking ball popped up, it'll get out of play. Behind the grandstand. Good crowd on hand on this lovely Saturday afternoon.
Well, there's a lot of competition. Basketball played. Edie White, I believe, is playing for the state championship in soccer. Mardi Gras parades. It's not ideal to draw your biggest crowd, but despite that, we have a nice crowd.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, 2 outs. Runners on the corners, foul tap at the plate. The count will remain the same. Got a heck of a story brewing in Baton Rouge right now. Jared Poche is working on another no-hitter. And I know people are catching this after the fact, but I just had some information on that, and that will be top of the national news, but there's still a little way to go in that game. That'd be unbelievable. Foul right side, twisting near the Wagner bullpen, and it'll get just out of play. Down there where they're cooking a bunch of good food, Don. I was down there a little earlier, and I mean, it's just phenomenal what they're doing for feeding the teams, feeding the TV crew. Food as good as it gets down in the right field corner here.
Well, you know, Ray Didier started what we call the Nicholls Spring Festival, and it was sort of based like that. We had boosters down the road collect their seafood and stuff, and they'd come up and cook, and every head coach in the South was invited, and the whole idea was to get all the media here so we could publicize this brand new school that he had taken over, and it became one of the most popular events on the calendar for all these coaches.
Another 2-2 pitch is down and in, ball 3. That was the 10th pitch of the at-bat to Pecora. As this is an at-bat no matter how good at-bat no matter how it ends. Right fielder Kyle Kayla is on deck for the Seahawks. Payoff pitch coming from Hatcher. Top foul again. What an at-bat for Anthony Pecora. Wow.
Well, Hatcher hadn't started a game this year, so I'm sure he's getting tired. He's thrown a lot of pitches. Coach Thibodeau's probably checking his pitch count. They have pitches warming up, and I'm thinking they want to get him out of this inning if they can, but if he gets in more trouble, they'll probably bring in the relief pitcher.
Another payoff pitch from Hatcher. Fouled again, wow. And Hatcher is up to 65 pitches, which is probably nearing his limit of whatever pitching coach Zach Butler has placed on the big right-hander. 6'5", 200 pounds. We're going to get another pitch in this incredible at-bat by Pecora. Breaking ball misses away. That'll load the bases. So the bases will be loaded. There are 2 outs, and it'll bring up right fielder Kyle Kayla. He is 1 for 2. He doubled in the second inning, reached on an error in the 4th. He was caught stealing, and he's going to bat with the bases loaded, but there are 2 outs.
Right fielder number 20, Kyle Kayla.
Hatcher will work from the windup. Bases are full of Seahawks, 2 outs. Kayla's ready to hit. Swing and a miss and a good fastball, strike 1. Ahead in the count, we'll see what he'll throw in the 0-1 here, trying to get out of this jam in the top half of the 5th inning. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. Wonderful pitch by Hatcher, and he's ahead at 0-2.
Now he needs to be smart here, and
can't give up anything here.
Right. He's ahead of the count. He's got to be real smart, and he can get out of this inning.
Batter Kayla asks for timeout, and he gets it. Biggest pitch of the afternoon for Caden Hatcher. Breaking ball just misses a tad up and in. Good spot on an 0-2 there. You don't want to get too much of the plate on 0-2. Don't get hurt there is what any pitching coach will tell you. So now he's still in front at 1-2. We'll see what he offers up to Kayla. Fastball going to be lined towards right center. That's in the gap. That's going to score all 3. A big hit by Kayla will be a triple that will clear the bases and put the Seahawks up 3-1 as he slides in ahead of the throw with the triple and 3 RBIs.
Well, that was damaging because he was ahead on the count and threw a good pitch, and we'll see the rerun here in a second. The ball was really well hit. Here he goes in the right gap between between center field and right fielder, right up against the fence. He had a little trouble picking the ball up, but it didn't matter. All the runs were going to score, and the runner was safely in the 3rd.
That'll bring up the first baseman, Brad Corral.
First baseman, number 11, Brad Carraro.
He struck out swinging in the second, singled in the fourth. He'll bat with 2 outs and a runner at third. Seahawks now lead 3-1 on that triple by Kyle Kayla. He'd already had a double in the game as he's racking some things up, and of course he got the 3 RBIs. So Curao will look for a 2-out hit to add to the lead for Wagner. Ground ball back up the middle. Morales has it at short. The throw to first is not going to work. That's going to score another run. We'll see if they call that a hit or an error. They're going to call it a hit, so it's a base hit, but it does score a run for the Seahawks.
The Seahawks have hit several balls right back through the pitcher box. Morales went over to his left, and you'll see the replay here. He dives, he stops the ball, tries to make a throw, but it's just not in time.
That'll bring up third baseman Nick Diamore, who struck out swinging twice. Actually, we got a pinch hitter.
Now batting the third baseman, number 3, Nick Diamore.
We got a pinch hitter batting. It's not Nick Diamore. First pitch inside, it's Will Johnson.
Pinch hitting for the Seahawks, number 25, Will Johnson.
And the count is 1-0, and the fastball misses as I update my computer there. Will Johnson is a sophomore out of Toms River, New Jersey. Breaking ball inside, and the count is 2-0. There are 2 outs, runner at first, but the Seahawks have put a 4 spot on the board here in the top half of the 5th inning. Tarver loosening in the bullpen for the Colonels. I got to believe Coach Thibodeau just wants Hatcher to finish this inning, and that would probably finish the day for him.
I'm surprised.
2-0 pitch.
Yeah, I was surprised they left him in, but that must be it. He just wants to
see if he
get
can
out
finish.
of this inning. Yeah.
And a lot of guys will try to let a guy work past the triple and have something good happen before you get him out. I've seen a lot of coaches that like to do that, and I believe that's what Coach Thibodeau is doing. Here's another pitch inside. That's ball 4, and
this is it.
That is going to be it, as Coach Thibodeau is going to come to the mound, which means there's going to be a pitching change. We'll take a break, and we come back. We'll tell you all about the new pitcher for the Nicholls Colonels. Wagner leads 4-1 here in the top half of the 5th inning on Pelican Sports TV.
In the Manning household, we're pretty serious about sports. And just like the team at the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodeau Regional, we're also very serious about sports safety. As the region's leader in First Comprehensive Sports Medicine Program, they've been in the game longer with certified athletic trainers, fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians, and neuro sports-trained experts. So play hard, play to win, but play it safe with the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodeau Regional.
Don, tell us about the new pitcher for the Colonels.
Well, Adam Tarver is a guy who pitches but also plays in the infield. He's a right-handed pitcher, 6'1", 220, well-built young man, and he's a sophomore from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And the damage has been done. Now they just have to try to hold him and give the Colonels the chance to come back and put a big inning or 2 together.
Coached at Parkview Baptist School. I saw him pick up a playoff win against Albany a few years ago. I happened to be at the game that day in Baton Rouge. Big right-hander, strong kid, as you mentioned. Takes over here with 2 outs in the top half of the 5th inning. Caden Hatcher threw 86 pitches, most of those in a large number of those in the 5th inning. His line's not final yet because he's responsible for the runners on base. Batting for Wagner will be the designated hitter, John Meade.
Now batting for the Seahawks, the designated
freshman
hitter, number 22, John Meade.
2 outs, runners at first and second. Wagner going to continue to try to put some more runs on the board here. They've got 4 already here in the top of the 5th. Ground ball to the shortstop, Morales, who will field it on a high hop and flip to Valdez for the final out. So Tarver comes in, throws 1 pitch, gets the out, but the Seahawks put a 4 spot on the board. Our score at the end of 4.5. You see the ground ball Morales goes up high to get it to Valdez for the final out. Our score at the end of 4.5, Wagner 4, Nicholls 1. We're back after this pause on Pelican Sports TV.
Up and down the bayou. That's how we tell you to get from one place to the other. It's a little different, but so are we in Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. And once you get here, you'll understand why our Cajun runs a little deeper. Find a piece of our story on swamp tours, fishing boats, at festivals, attractions, and restaurants. Visit LACajunBayou.com to plan your trip today. Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Rich, natural, unapologetically Cajun. Just south of New Orleans, where Cajun runs deep.
Chris Mormile, the freshman for Wagner, still on the mound as we head to the bottom of the fifth, although there is some activity in the Wagner bullpen down in the right field corner. Looks to be Ryan Locke, a freshman, getting loose. With a 3-run lead, perhaps Coach Carone just wants to put Mormile out there a little more. Colonels are going to send 8-9-1 to the plate. Third baseman Troy Cahill will get things going in the bottom of the fifth. He walked back in the second inning. Cahill from Bentonville, Arkansas.
His favorite player is Manny Machado, the good third infielder, and favorite Hall of Famer is Nolan Ryan.
Two good choices, I may say. So Cahill going to step in and hit from the right side. Colonels now trail 4-1. We'll see if they can answer with some runs of their own. There's Cahill, the junior from Bentonville, Arkansas. First pitch from Mormile, bottom of the fifth. Up high and in, ball one with a breaking ball. Ethan Valdez, Colonel's second baseman, on deck. The 1-0 pitch. Strike one, fastball on the bottom of the strike zone. It counts 1-1.
We've talked about all the improvements that are coming to this field. The first field that Nicholls played on was the Class C Evangeline League team, Stark Field. Then they built where the current softball field is, became the baseball field, and later turned into the softball field. Ray Didier Field was built and without state funds and put together piecemeal.
Fastball up, count 3-1. Cahill's job here, get on base. Colonels only have the one hit in the game so far. And that's a base on balls. Cahill does his job by getting on base to begin the bottom half of the fifth. And it'll bring up Ethan Valdez, second baseman for the Colonels out of San Antonio, Texas. He grounded into a double play back in the second inning. There's a good look at Ethan, the sophomore from San Antonio. Probably not a bunt situation here, down 3, but it is only the fifth inning. We'll see what Coach Thibodeau has on his mind. Mormile from the stretch. Misses up high. Count 1-0. Throw to first. Gets away from the first baseman, Curral, but not far enough for Cahill to think about advancing. Wind still blowing out, maybe not quite as hard as it was earlier in the game, but still moving those flags a good bit. And as you were talking about, very rare for the wind to blow out at this ballpark. Ball 2. Many people back in the day, we had an unofficial nickname here, was the glove, because everything gets hit up in the air of the outfield. It's like there's a glove up there that just catches it and throws it back. Well, all 3, good job by Valdez to work the count. I'm going to assume a take sign's in order here. 3-0 with Nobody out, bottom of 5.
Longtime coach in baseball, Mike Knight, who's served as the head coach for 17 years.
I know Coach Knight well.
He played the small ball too, and they set an NCAA record for single season stolen bases. They stole 280 bases that season out of 348 attempts, almost a little less than 5 stolen bases per year. Over a 9-year span, they stole over 1,500 bases. And so it's not the first year they play small ball. They've had to play that. They know what they're up against.
Here's the 3-1 pitch from Moormile. Strike 2 called. And I'll say this because you'll know it as well as anybody. Coach Mike Knight, quite the character.
Was a football assistant, head coach. Later became the athletic director. Who spent over 20-something years here at Nicholls State.
Yeah, he did. Here's a pitch hit well towards center field. Center fielder Silverstone goes back. He goes back, and he falls on the track and makes the catch. Gets it back in. Runner cannot advance. The long fly by Valdez is an out.
Well, that was the hardest hit ball the Colonels have hit today, and we'll see the replay here. But he got hold of it, but he went to the deepest part, or one of the deepest parts of the outfield. Outfielder was able to go back and make the catch.
So 1 out, runner on first base. It'll bring up Chet Niehaus, the center fielder for the Colonels. He's the leadoff guy. He grounded out in the first inning, reached on an error in the third inning. Steps in, bottom of 5, 1 out. His teammate Cahill, the runner at first. There's a look at the catch in center field on the track. Good job by Silverstone. First pitch, ball 1 to Niehaus. Joey Morales, the Colonel shortstop, is on deck. Niehaus from Hammond, Louisiana, home of Southeastern, a fellow Southland Conference member for the Colonels. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Count 1-1. Moormile wanting to work quick here. They got some guys in the bullpen for Wagner, but they're just standing there watching. Line drive in the left center fielder might get down for a hit, and it does. Silverstone tried to deke, didn't work. That's a single for Niehaus. Cahill will stop at second, gives the Colonels a couple of runners with 1 out.
Niehaus, a left-hander, hit the outside pitch, sliced it to center field, clear base hit. Throw came in that, and no play to go to third, so they have now runners on first and second.
That'll bring up the shortstop, Joey Morales. He's 0 for 2. He lined out and hit into a double play. With 1 out, runners at first and second. Morales will hit for the Colonels.
Morales came in as a leading hitter average-wise on the Colonels, and we need him to come through right here.
Joey Morales.
Gavin Webby on deck for Nicholls. We'll see what Morales can do. That was only the second hit for the Colonels this afternoon. Pop up right field. Kayla comes in. Going to get underneath it and make the catch for out number 2. Runners cannot advance. So that was a good job by Moormile to get that out. You'll see Kayla come in. Camp underneath it. Out number 2. That'll bring up Gavin Webby. He was hit by a pitch, then got called out on strike 3 back in the third inning, hit by the pitch in the first. And he'll hit with 2 outs, runners at first and second. I want to get him on base and get the big cleanup hitter, Kyle North, who's on deck. They want to get him to the plate, but Webby from Pensacola will hit. Strike 1 inside corner.
Webby's been one of the most consistent players this year, so he needs to come through right here, or at least get on base with the big cleanup hitter coming up.
0-1 the count. Moormile gets ahead. Nice block by the catcher, Capra. Ball down in the dirt. Runners unable to advance again. Again, Southern Jaguars have made their way into the park, sitting down a left field line. I see Coach Elliott Jones sitting near the press box with Coach Dan Canterbury. 2 assistants to Roger Kadar. Jaguars again will play Long Island University out of Brooklyn at 7 p.m. tonight in the Mardi Gras Invitational. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice breaking ball. Webby swings over the top of it. He's in the hole at 1-2. One-two pitch to Webby. Fastball, swing and miss, strike three. Mormile going to get it done, and the Colonels can't answer in the bottom of the fifth as they do not answer the 4 spot that the Seahawks put up in the top of the fifth. We've played 5 in the Mardi Gras Invitational, Beads and Baseball on the Bayou, presented by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Tourism. LouisianaCajunBayou.com. We'll be back with more right here on Pelican Sports TV. With Don Landry, I'm Tommy Kreis, and Adam Tarver came in the top of the fifth through 1 pitch, got out of the jam, so he'll return to the mound for the Colonels as we head to the top half of inning number 6. Leading off will be the shortstop, Sean Mazzio. He is 0 for 2. First pitch from Tarver. Fastball outside corner, strike 1.
Another part of the history in baseball, they were junior college at first, and NAIA, then NCAA Division II, NCAA Division I. They got in the Gulf States Conference, the Trans-America Conference for 1 year, the Gulf South Conference, and finally the Southland Conference.
Breaking ball misses away, 1-1 count. Tarver working from the windup. Foul ball, tap foul right side out of play. Go down there close to the guys that are cooking. We don't want to hurt those guys. That'll make the count 1-2 as we're in the top half of inning number 6. Pitch misses away. Count 2-2 now. Do have some more activity in the Colonel bullpen. See left-hander Mike Hanchar, who beat ULL earlier this week. Swing and a miss. A little help from Mazzio there, but Tarver will take it. Swing and a miss. We'll be out number 1 here in the top half of the 6th inning, and we'll go back to the top of the Wagner order with Silver. There's a look at Hanchar, the lefty, number 17, beginning to work down in the left field corner in the Colonel bullpen.
1 down to the end, and it brings to the plate the center fielder,
Joe
40,
Silverstone. The center fielder will bat. Strike 1 on the outside corner to him. He is 1 for 3. He's popped up to first. He's singled. He also struck out swinging. The good look at the sophomore, Silverstone, who's done a good job in center field. Fastball away, count 1-1. The 1-1 pitch up high, 2-1. One out, nobody on. Top of inning number 6. Swing and a miss, good fastball by Tarver. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, ball hit the dirt. Tucker will throw it down to North at first, and that's going to be out number 2.
By Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Tourism.
So Tarver's done a good job getting out of the jam in the 5th and a couple of punch outs here in the 6th. And with 2 outs, it'll bring up the left fielder, Anthony Godino. Godino's 2 for 3 on the afternoon. He flied out in the 1st, but he singled in the 3rd, singled in the 5th. He'll bat with 2 outs and nobody on.
Number 44, Anthony Godino.
Hancher still works down in the pen. Here's the pitch from Tarver. Misses up just a little bit. After this half inning, we'll visit with Matt Roan, the new athletic director here at Nicholls. He'll sit in. So we'll keep it here between innings. Tarver fires a strike on the outside corner, and it counts 1-1 to Godino. The 1-1 pitch. Down low, he held up his swing. Ball 2. Pitch from Tarver, fouled into the screen behind home plate. Count will be 2-2. Again, 2 outs, nobody on. For the Seahawks here in the top half of inning number 6.
That foul ball brought to you by Spars.
See if Tarver can get a little 3 up, 3 down going here. Ball high, count is now full. Godino steps back in. Here we go. Payoff pitch. Fly popped up high to Valdez at second base. He'll camp underneath that thing. And that'll be out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for Tarver here in the top half of the 6th inning. But we've still got Wagner leading in the game 4-1 as we get a look at the replay. There's Valdez making the catch. We're going to keep it right here. I'm Tommy Kreis. It's now my pleasure to be joined by the athletic director who arrived in November, Matt Roan. Matt, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a busy day on campus, and had a doubleheader in men's and women's basketball today, and the second of 3 games in baseball. I'm trying to fill big shoes in more ways than one, on the radio and in the AD's chair, right?
Well, hey, Matt, I enjoyed meeting you here at the ballpark last night. We had a really nice visit. On behalf of Pelican Broadcasting, we want to welcome you to Louisiana and to Thibodaux. And we're going to put you on TV in a month or so, like I told you about. But welcome to Nicholls. I know you were excited. You were telling me last night there's so many little things that are going good and big things going good here in the athletic department. Tell us what Colonel fans and Nicholls State alumni can look for in the near future athletic-wise.
I've said it several times, and I've even shared it with Mr. Landry. I believe that you have success in athletics with 3 things: people, tools, and processes. You know, Mr. Landry knows, I think Colonel fans everywhere know that we have really good people. You know, we have Tim Tebow heading up our football program, Doobie Plaisance in women's basketball, Seth in baseball, Richie Riley men's basketball. Really 1 through 10, our head coaches are really good in the 14 programs that we have. The big things that we're talking about kind of relate to that tools piece, generating additional dollars that will be at the disposal of our programs to really create those margins for excellence, help them operate better. But even more, the facilities that we play in. You know, you and I will probably have the chance to talk over the next several weeks about some of the projects that we anticipate being able to move forward with, but really being able to allow our young men and women to play in first-class facilities, and maybe not always the biggest, but some of the best.
Well, you're going to sit here as the Colonels head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Kyle North will lead it off. Colonels will bat 4, 5, 6. North, Clark, and Tucker here in the bottom of the 6th, trailing 4-1. As we've got a new pitcher on the mound for Wagner. Ryan Locke is the new pitcher, and North will step in. As I change the pitcher in my computer here, and the first pitch is ball 1. A little bit outside. Matt, you were telling me you really love the food around here, and I'm not going to tell them how many pounds you told me you gained, but it could start with the food here, huh?
Yeah, I think the number of pounds I have, without giving too many secrets, it rhymes with 15. But absolutely, 2 things that I hate to say that I'm passionate about, but it's a lot of fun. When I came on my interview, I asked someone, I said, "What's it like living in Thibodaux? Tell me about South Louisiana." And they said we're crazy about food and family. And I've like I said, I've gained 15 pounds, and I've had my fourth child, my second little boy. I've got 2 girls and 2 boys, so I think we fit in well from that standpoint.
North flied out to left field, 1 out to bring up designated hitter Lee Clark, who will swing and miss at a breaking ball. Clark singled in the second, flied out in the fourth, a junior out of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He'll hit with 1 out and nobody on base. As a new pitcher, Ryan Locke, a big freshman from Maluka Hill, New Jersey, has taken over for Wagner. A very good outing by the freshman Chris Moormiles, who threw 73 pitches in 5 innings. That's a very good ratio, actually. So the count's now 2-1 to Lee Clark, the DH from the left side for the Colonels. Fastball just misses, 3-1. Colonels need base runners and hits, and Clark will try to get on here with Alex Tucker, the Colonel catcher, on deck. Right-hander Locke to throw. Fly ball well hit to right center. Kayla on his horse, not going to get there. That ball will be out of here. Touch them all. Right. Lee Clark with the big fly. Matt, you brought him a bomb.
I'll take 100% complete credit for that one. That was big. Hopefully it'll give us a spark, and we'll be able to catch 2 more up here very soon.
So great job by Lee Clark to hit that bomb. And that is his first home run on the season. And that cuts the score to 4-2. Only the 3rd hit of the afternoon for the Colonels, but they only trail 4-2. You get a look in the dugout as his teammates very happy to bring up catcher Alex Tucker. He's 0 for 1. He walked and grounded out. First pitch to Tucker, called strike on the outside corner.
Now batting for the Colonels, the catcher number 13.
Matt Roan, athletic director, sitting with us. I see the construction just to our left of the press box and some other things. Tell us about some of the improvements happening to Didier Field.
Yes, sir. Right now we're really in phase 2, if you will, of a multi-phase renovation to Didier. And what you're seeing to our left here is an elevator tower that's going to service, 1, this press box and new concession stand that we're sitting in today. But 2, as you move to the left, it'll end up servicing a new baseball clubhouse, field house, whatever you want to call it.
Clubhouse.
And that's
you're a football player.
I'm
I'm gonna call it a clubhouse.
But we'll call it a clubhouse, and all new coaches' offices, locker rooms, lounge area for our kids.
Breaking ball looked to be outside, and all the umpires in the stands thought it was. Count 1 and 2 to Alex Tucker. Quade Smith on deck for Nicholls. Locke is ahead in the count now, 1 and 2. Campus-wide, though, I know some other things are happening athletically, too.
Yes, sir. Like I said, we have 14 programs, and one of the things that I've learned from my mentors along the way is to try to make an improvement with every one of those programs every single year to show continuous improvement, a continuous commitment to excellence.
2-2 now the count to Alex Tucker. Batting in the bottom of the 6th, the big fly by Lee Clark has brought the Colonels within 4-2. Tap foul near home plate, keep it right there, and the count remains 2-2. 1 out, nobody on base. The 2-2 pitch. A little bit short, that'll be full count. Talk about the Southland Conference. Of course, Nicholls State's in there with a bunch of schools from Louisiana and Texas, and of course Central Arkansas. Talk about the Southland Conference. It's a really good conference with a lot of good schools and teams and schools that have made a commitment to sports.
You're exactly right. And I think no matter the sport, 1 through 13, with there being 13 members in the league, and obviously not everybody plays every single sport, but 1 through 13, there's a ton of parity in the league. And you've seen schools from Sam Houston to Central Arkansas really make a commitment to those things that we talked about, to their funding, to the facilities, to the scholarship portion even. And, that we got a little ground to cover there. And, just kind of finish up my point on our stadium here. We're sitting in, you're right in front of us today is a new grandstand, and we're excited that, the phase 3 will complete that project between the dugouts, and we're looking forward to it.
You're gonna have over.
That's something that we're looking at. Hopefully being able to provide a little bit of shade here for the grandstand behind the plate as well.
Quade Smith will step in. He's the Colonel left fielder. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of ground outs. He'll hit with 1 out, and his teammate Tucker at first base. He's going to drop the bunt down. Well placed. Foul though. Just got into the grass, and the catcher Capra jumped right on it. So a little small ball by Coach Thibodeau. But we'll send Quade Smith back to the plate with a count of 0-1. Talk about some of the long-term goals. I know you've only been here since November, but some long-term goals that you have for the athletic department.
You know, we kind of talk about what our vision is. And our vision, is it bold? Yes, but it's really, we're not going to be LSU. And you and I had the chance to talk about that last night. We're not going to be LSU. We're not going to be maybe even Tulane. But we have an opportunity, I think, to be a leader at our level at FCS, mid-major basketball, mid-major baseball, whatever you will, is really just being excellent. And that, you know, it's comprehensive. It's everything that we've talked about, but it's really just the way we conduct our business, the things that we do on a day-to-day basis that'll hopefully change the tide and create a culture here.
There's the shallow fly to left field by Smith, taken in by Godino in left. Out number 2, and it'll bring to the plate. Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter.
Pinch hitting for the Colonels, number 27, Gage Tier.
We're going to have a pinch hitter for the Colonels. That'll be number 27, Gage Tier. He will pinch hit. Tier is a junior out of Brandon, Mississippi, and Coach Thibodeau is going to send him up there with 2 outs and a runner on first. Colonels have cut the lead to 4-2. A little meeting on the mound by the Seahawk, Coach Jim Carone and his staff. I spoke with Coach Carone at Wagner. He couldn't be more complimentary of Nicholls and Coach Thibodeau and you and the hospitality that they've been shown here. This is the first year of the Mardi Gras Invitational. I know Coach Thibodeau wants to put this on everybody's calendar and make it a routine thing that's going to happen. We at Pelican are going to be more than happy to do our part and be a part of it. And when you hear things like that from the coach at Wagner up in Staten Island, New York, sounds like this tournament's off to a good start.
Absolutely, and it's something that, you know, I inherited, and when I came in, the wheels were already in motion to put this thing together. And, you know, in a lot of ways, I kind of just sat back and watched. You know, we've had a great team effort between our baseball staff, the athletic department staff, you all with Pelican, the city of Thibodaux, you know, all of our sponsors who have been a participant in this process. And I think that you'll find that all 5 teams that have visited thought it was first class.
First pitch to the pinch hitter, Tiers, down and in. Matt, okay, you've been here since November. Give me this one thing that has really surprised you that nobody kind of hinted to you or told you it might happen. You're a little bit familiar with Louisiana before you got here. You got some family in Northwest Louisiana. Give me this one thing that you went, whoa, I didn't see that one coming, good or bad. I know I'm blindsided.
I'll tell you a funny story.
I can't wait to hear.
I am heading to Lafayette, Louisiana, the first week in December to watch our men's basketball program play over there. And I'm in between here and Houma, and I saw my first alligator on the side of the road. I didn't know whether to stop or speed up, and I think I did the latter. But I thought, welcome to South Louisiana there.
That's really good. Pitch outside, count 2-1 to Tier, the pinch hitter for the Colonels. Count 2-1, 2 outs, runner on first. That's the tying run at the plate here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. He just dumped it in the strike zone. Ethan Valdez, Colonel's second baseman, is on deck. The alligator on the side of the road. You're going to see some more of that. I'll just let you know.
You know, the part of the story that I leave out, it probably wasn't bigger than my hand, but it still scared me enough that I went forward pretty quick.
You were glad to get to Lafayette.
I was.
Ball well outside on the strike zone, count full.
That was a good pick right there.
Yeah. Catcher Capper's done a good job. Both catchers have today. But Capper's been good on several pitches. Well, now we got a full count, 2 outs. Runner will get in motion. We'll start the merry-go-round with the payoff pitch from Ryan Locke, who has come on in relief of Chris Mormile. Here we go. Ball 4. And we got a couple of Colonels on base to bring the go-ahead run to the plate. In second baseman Ethan Valdez. There are 2 outs, and the Colonels trying to continue to put some numbers on the board here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. I mentioned to some people you played a little football at Virginia Tech in southern Utah, and you've been in the state of Kentucky most recently in your career as an administrator and whatnot. And again, we certainly welcome you to Louisiana, and I know you're going to enjoy it. As you know, I've been here all my life, so I know you're going to enjoy it.
I have. We've been here, I guess, going on 4 months now. We've been overwhelmed with the generosity both on campus and in the community and really around the region at large.
Curveball in there for strike one to Valdez. Nicholls, the center fielder, top of the order, waits on deck. If Valdez can keep this thing going in the bottom half of the sixth inning, a sophomore from San Antonio with an 0-1 count. The pitch from Locke misses outside, count 1-1. You know today's Coach Rebo's birthday.
I tried to give him a call just a second ago to tell him a little birdie told me about that, but he didn't pick up.
He's probably busy, You're not at football coaches. You played for the legendary Frank Beamer,
Absolutely.
Call strike two, fastball on the outside part of the plate. So Valdez in a little bit of a hole here. He's going to need a 2-out, 2-strike hit. Put the ball in play and see what happens. Matt Roan, the new athletic director, he came on board in November here at Nicholls. And we appreciate him taking time to sit in with us today. As you mentioned, you guys had a basketball doubleheader over at Stouffer Gymnasium, and you've been running back and forth. I saw you real quick earlier. I said, I'll see you around the sixth inning. If it has to be the seventh, we're good.
I think I got here just in time.
Strike three looking to Valdez. He goes down, and that'll do it for the Colonels in the bottom of the sixth. But they did answer with a run. Matt Roan, we appreciate you joining us here. We wish you continued success with the Colonel Athletic Department. And as I mentioned to you, we're going to be in touch. We're going to get you to Baton Rouge, get you on TV. You and Coach Rebo can ride up there, and we'll make it like a Nicholls night all over South Louisiana on Pelican Sports TV. What do you think of that?
You just let me know when and where, and we'll be happy to be there. We've got a lot of great things going on here. Not since I've been here, but there's been a tradition or a foundation for success that's been laid here, and I hope to do my part just to kind of carry that torch forward. And this guy right here with us,
Don Landry,
one of my first phone call. Right after it was announced, I think right after I got back from the press conference, he gave me a call and gave me some tips and some things that I've relied on since I've been here. And we had the chance to visit, I think about 2 weeks ago when he was on campus. A lot of really good people here. We're excited to be here and think that we can make a positive difference.
Matt, I appreciated our visit last night here at the park. Thank you for sitting in for a little bit. I'll certainly be in touch. And again, on behalf of everyone at Pelican Broadcasting, welcome to Louisiana.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
All right, that's Matt Roan, the new athletic director here, joining us as we now roll off to the seventh inning. Wagner leads Nicholls 4-2, and we'll get Coach Don Landry back in here. Again, Coach Don Landry was the basketball coach here from 1966 to 1979, athletic director from 1980 to 89. And Coach Landry, glad to have you back behind the microphone as we had to roll the superstars and Tim Rebo and Matt Roan through.
Well, these are all good people, and I think the fans that I've talked to think they have a really good staff, from the athletic director on to all of their other staff and all the coaching, a good, strong coaching staff.
I've worked with Katie this week, Bryant, Jessica, who's helping us in the TV truck today. Just everybody's been so nice here on the staff, from Coach Thibodeau to athletic director Matt Roan and many, many more folks, and I certainly appreciate it. Here's a high fly by the catcher, Capper, into center field that Nicholls will get underneath, drifting slightly to his left, and one pitch from Tarver, and it's 1 out in the top half of the seventh inning.
Well, he got under it too much. It was a high fly ball, and Nicholls had no trouble camping under it and coming up with the first out.
I'm going to bring up Anthony Pecora, the second baseman. Pecora is 0 for 2. Popped up, grounded out, but he also walked and scored one of the 4 Wagner runs. Pitch to Pecora, up and in, ball 1. Top of the seventh, Wagner leads Nicholls 4-2 here on Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, and the internet at pelicansportstv.com. Another fastball up. Also visit YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. A lot of our programming available there where you can watch at your convenience. youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Fastball catches the outside corner for strike 1. Count 2-1 to Pecora. Kayla is on deck, and he's had a couple of extra base hits today, so you don't want anybody on base when he bats. Strike 2 on the outside corner. I believe Pecora thought that was too far outside, but he's going to have to live with it. It's a 2-2 count. Adam Tarver, the righty, on the bump for Nicholls. Ball slaps foul right side out of play. And the count will remain 2-2. Wind still blowing out slightly to right. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball just missed outside. That means the count's full. 1 out, nobody on base. The payoff pitch. High fly, left side, third baseman going to get underneath it and make the catch. That's Gage Tier, who came into the game, catches the high pop-up at third.
The first baseball coach, who was also the first athletic director, was a guy named Jim Hall, and he was from Missouri. And the first basketball coach he hired was from Missouri. As a result, before Ray Didier got here, it was mostly Missouri players. And what happened, a lot of them ended up marrying local girls, and so lived down here. They never left. They in UAD, Matt, he'll find out it's hard to leave. So we have a lot of Missouri alumni involved in all of our sports.
Kyle Kayla has been on base 3 times. He's doubled, reached on an error, and tripled with 3 RBIs. That triple coming with the bases loaded. He's behind in the count 0-1. Swings and misses at strike 2. So Tarver gets ahead with 2 outs and nobody on. Breaking ball well outside the strike zone. The count's 1-2. Top half of inning number 7. The pitch. Tap foul. We'll keep it at home plate.
That foul ball brought to you by Spars, downtown Thibodaux.
Hanchar is still up in the Nicholls pen, but he's not working real quick. There are 2 outs, nobody on. There's another ball tap foul towards the third base dugout. That's where the Colonels reside, in the third base side. We'll get another 1-2 pitch from Adam Tarver, sophomore out of Baton Rouge. Fastball misses away, count 2-2.
When you talk to Coach Thibodeau or Matt Rome, the UAD, or Coach Rebo, you can see they're very competitive, and they're not content just to have a mediocre program. They want this to be a flagship program for this level.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good job by Tarver since he's come on in relief. That'll send us to the 7th inning stretch, and we'll take a break and come back. Wagner 4, Nicholls 2, Don Landry, Tommy Kreis, and you are watching Pelican Sports TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Archie, did you know that Louisiana is ranked 48th in the U.S. for overall health?
Well, Thibodaux Regional is leading the way for a significant change with the building of the state-of-the-art wellness center.
Yeah, we're really excited about the 242,000 square foot medically integrated facility, which is unlike any in the region or the state.
The Wellness Center of Thibodaux Regional, a game changer to help people feel better, work better, and live better.
We continue with the Mardi Gras Invitational. As you see, bottom of the 7th, Wagner 4, Nicholls 2 at Ray E. Didier Field. The Mardi Gras Invitational, and the fans are enjoying the end of the 7th inning stretch.
A round of applause.
And the Colonels are going to go to the top of the batting order here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. They'll get Niehaus, Morales, Webby coming up. They'll try to tear into this 4-2 deficit that they face. Got another new pitcher for the Wagner team, and that will be Rico Viani. I think he's Italian, Coach. What do you think?
I think they have several Italians on this team. So
Rico Viani.
And, you know, if you look at their roster, almost all of them are from New Jersey or New York. There's one from Philadelphia.
He's from Monroe Township, New Jersey. And again, the leadoff hitter will be the center fielder, Chet Niehaus. Niehaus is 1 for 3, grounded out, reached on an error, and singled.
Chet Niehaus.
See what the Colonels can do here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. First pitch from Vianney, called strike 1 on the outside corner. Count 0-1, right-hander Vianney delivers, slapped, foul, just foul. Down the third base line. That did miss fair territory by a lot, but I think it did. I thought I saw it hit left of the line as I viewed it.
Well, the third baseman, you know, he respects the possibility of the speed and the bunting here, so he played in a little closer than he had been. If so, the ball, he couldn't react too much. If the ball had just been a couple inches in, we would have had a double for the batter.
It was fouled by about a foot. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Niehaus asks home plate ump for time, and he's awarded it. So with an 0-2 count, Niehaus will have to step back in. Nobody out, nobody on. Bottom of the 7th, Colonels trail 4-2. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses just down. Count 1-2. Good eye by Niehaus. Shortstop Joey Morales on deck for Nicholls. Ground ball left side. Shortstop Mazzio's got it. One hops it to first. He's going to say out. And Coach Thibodeau's going to argue about this one.
Coach Thibodeau has run out there, and we'll see the replay, what we think.
He has sprinted from the third base coaching box across the diamond. There's Coach Seth Thibodeau.
Here's the replay.
We're going to get the ball to the shortstop. Ooh, he was off the bag. I believe Coach Thibodeau.
He was pulled off the bag, but there's no replay
a beef there. So the runner is going to Niehaus. They're going to get together and talk about this. I think the runner's safe, but they don't care what I think. So we're going to see the three-man umpiring crew. We're going to meet. The bottom line is get the call right. So they're going to get together and see if they can determine something.
Well, if he wasn't pulled off the bag, they might have gotten him. But I agree with you.
It would have been close. You're correct.
It would have been close.
They're going to say safe. They're going to change the call. That's a good job by the umpiring crew. But now here comes Coach Jim Carone of Wagner, and he wants an explanation, and he is entitled to that.
You know, I'm a little surprised because they have no replay at this level, and some plays you need to get the umpires together. I'm surprised they got together on this play because the first base umpire had the best position. He just blew it. But I don't know who would have overruled him or who convinced him that he was off.
Well, I think they, having a little experience with that would happen. The umpires get together here and they will ask, is anybody certain that this call is wrong? Is anybody certain that we have to make something else? And if one member of the crew says, I'm certain we need to change it, they do it. It's kind of a, are you certain, are you sure kind of thing. And Coach Carone's going to go back to the dugout. He's just making sure they know he's there.
Well, and the umpire that's at second base now, he actually was looking right down the line. He probably had the best view if the first baseman was pulled off or not.
All right, so there's Niehaus will be the runner at first. It'll bring up the shortstop, Joey Morales. He's 0 for 3. He lined out, hit into a double play, and flied out. So Morales will hit now. And actually, he'll show bunt. He takes the pitch for ball 1. And the count's now 1-0 to Morales with the 3-hole hitter, Gavin Webby, on deck.
Well, this has been the top of the lineup for this inning, so this needs to be an important inning. If they're going to cut the lead down or take the lead, this is the inning they need to make it happen.
Here's the 1-0 pitch from Vianney. Fastball just missed outside. Umpire almost flinched on that one. He did flinch, I should say. But the right arm did not go up, so it's ball 2. Coach Seth Thibodeau flashing the signs from the third base box. And we're going to get a 2-0 pitch to Morales. Up high, ball 3. Colonel's trying to put something together here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The 3-0 pitch. Taking all the way, strike 1, fastball outside corner. There's another fastball. Called strike 2, and now the count is full. So we're going to get a 3-2 pitch, a payoff pitch going to come. Runner on first, nobody out. That runner is Nicholls with good speed. Ball 4, down and away.
Well, this is what they need. They got the first 2 runners on, and they had the middle of the batting order up, and they need to make something happen right now, this inning.
That'll bring up the 3-hole hitter, as you mentioned, Don, Gavin Webby. He was hit by a pitch in the first, struck out looking in the third, struck out swinging in the fifth, so he is 0 for 2. And he'll hit with 2 outs, runners on first and second. Cleanup hitter Kyle North on deck.
Gavin Webby.
But Webby will step in from the left side against the righty, Vianney. The first pitch, the pitcher's going to step off. Everybody always yells balk when they do that, but it's not a balk. A lot of umpires in most ballparks. The pitch to delivery. Oh, inside move to second. Nicholls is back. Just a bluff move because neither the shortstop or the second baseman broke to the bag. So it's what's called a bluff move. Now the catcher's going to make a defensive call to everybody out in front of home, and all that stuff he just did and touched, that means something. Or it means nothing, which means something. Got to think about that one for a minute. But anyway, here we go with the first delivery from Vianney. Breaking ball wraps around the plate for ball 1 as Webby actually slid his hand up the bat, showed bunt. Coach Thibodeau likes that small ball, and that's typical. You got to play that here in this park where even though the wind's blowing out a tad today, it normally does not do that. Webby takes strike 1, showed bunt, pulled the bat back.
Well, if he can be successful on bunting them down, they would put the tying run in scoring position and a run on third maybe with a sacrifice fly. So, as you said, they're playing small ball, and that's nothing wrong with that.
Showing bunt again on the 1-1 pitch. Pops it left side. That's not a good bunt. Popped it up in the air, and that's going to be an out.
Yeah, that's one thing you didn't want to happen. He got under it. The ball was popped up. Easy play for the third baseman. Now they have to rely on their big cleanup hitter and see what he can do with them.
Take a look at the bunt right here. North just gets under it, and it's up in the air. And he knew it. He knew it as soon as he hit it that he did not execute there. And that'll be 1 out now. Runners at first and second. Morales at first. Nicholls at second. Kyle North will step in. North is 0 for 2. Couple of flyouts, but he has also walked in the game.
Now, you saw him hit a massive home run last night.
Yes,
this would be a good time to
hit
duplicate.
Another one.
Yes.
Popped it up out of play back behind us up in the nice new press box. Couple of years old here.
Yeah, they've done a nice job, and they got lots more to do. I think they plan on artificial turf.
That's coming in
eventually.
as soon as this season's over. Everything except the outfield will become artificial, similar to what Southeastern did last fall. And they're playing on that now. The 0-1 pitch to the cleanup hitter North. Vianney steps off again, and everybody else balk again. Now the catcher Capper's going to go chalk to. And runner on second, there may be a little confusion on the signs here. And we've got a little activity in the Wagner bullpen. Nick Robino, freshman out of Wilmington, Delaware, begins to loosen for the Seahawks down in the right field corner. Hanchar still in the left field corner for the Colonels. Bottom of the 7th inning, we got a 4-2 game. Wagner on top. North's going to step in. He's got plenty of power, as I witnessed last night. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Yet another move to second.
Now, Tommy, why did they do that?
I don't agree with that. I mean, now it's time to work the plate. You got a cleanup hitter, a good hitter at the plate. You need to put all your focus on that spot. That runner on second doesn't even tie the game. So I would think you need to work on the plate. You've seen that, and all of that has now led to a ball up and away. And the last thing you want to do is get in a spot where you got to throw a fastball to Kyle North, because if you throw a fastball to him and he turns it around, it'll be 5-4 Colonels. And he went to the breaking ball away. That's outside. 2-1, good spot to hit here for North. Especially if he gets a fastball, he's going to try to pound it.
Look at the center fielder. He's squatted down. Now, he'll stand up, obviously, when they pitch, but you don't usually see him squatting down like that.
The 2-1 pitch. Hit him. Bases loaded. They would have liked to have seen North take a big swing, but they'll take bases loaded because guess who's coming up? The man who hit the home run in his last at-bat, designated hitter Lee Clark. He's got a single earlier. He's 2 for 3, and he's got that solo homer last inning. The junior out of Tuscaloosa would like nothing more to hit a grand salami right here.
Now, he's not a real big guy, but he got hold of that last one, and we don't even need a home run right now.
And Jim Carone going to go to the mound, the Wagner coach. Met him earlier today. Really good guy. Really glad to have his team down here in Thibodaux. He has not signaled for a change yet, so maybe he's just going to have a meeting of the minds out there.
We mentioned about all the teams that's striving to improve their programs. The level that everybody's shooting for was the 1975-76 season when Nicholls won the All-Sports Trophy. They won individual team championships in football, basketball, baseball, golf, and tennis. Unprecedented. And Nicholls had less teams they sponsored, less sports they sponsored than anybody in the conference. But by dominating those sports, it gave them enough points to win the All-Sports Trophy. So every team since then has been shooting overall for that team's overall department success.
I'll tell you hadn't mentioned a guy yet who I became very close to when he joined the football staff at Southeastern, but he was down here for a long time. Left us too soon a few years ago, but a dear friend of mine, Coach T.C. Calmes.
Well, he was a great guy. He ended up being the defensive coordinator on the football staff, but in those days, people had to double coaching, other sports like Mike Knight did later. But Calmes did both. And
coached baseball.
He had good, I had baseball coaching. Had good, solid teams. It was a good baseball coach.
Lee Clark steps in from the left side. Bases loaded, 1 out. Fastball away, ball 1. Nowhere to put him. Colonel's trying to make a lot of noise here in the bottom of inning number 7. Trailing 4-2. Trying to cut into that with Clark, the 1-0 pitch. 2-0. Advantage Clark at the plate here as Vianney's got to come into the strike zone. The 2-0 pitch from Vianney. Ball 3 just outside, maybe up a little bit, and the count's 3-0. And he's going to give Clark the hit away sign. I just seen Coach Thibodeau flash that. He's giving him the green light here on 3-0. If he gets his pitch, he's to drive it. Ball 4. We got a 4-3 ball game. He'll also get the RBI there. And it'll bring up the catcher, Alex Tucker. Great job at the plate by Clark. Good eye. Didn't get a pitch to hit. He walks and gets an RBI.
Well, this had to be the inning, and so far they've taken care of it. But they could break open this ball game if they can just get a key hit.
And now we're going to have a pitching change. I see Coach Carone coming out of the bullpen, coming out of the dugout on the first base side to make the pitching change. We'll take a break, come back and tell you about the new Wagner pitcher. Colonels have something going in the bottom of the 7th. We're back after this pause on Pelican Sports TV.
Downtown Thibodaux, while historic in its architecture, is truly young at heart. A spirited nightlife and host of community events add to the lively atmosphere. Whether scouring the farmer's market for fresh produce, enjoying the sights and sounds of the downtown arts walk, or savoring the tastes at Big Boy's Main Street Cook-Off, a trip to downtown Thibodaux is always one to remember. Experience it for yourself when you make the trip to downtown Thibodaux.
Louisiana's CajunBayou.com help present the Mardi Gras Invitational here. The new pitcher for the Seahawks, number 5, Nick Rubino.
He's a freshman right-hander, 5'10", 175, and he's from the state of Delaware, one of the few limited number of players they have from outside of New York or New Jersey.
We got one out. We got bases loaded. Colonels have a run in to trim the lead to 4-3. Nick Rubino, a right-hander, now in for Coach Jim Carone and the Seahawks. Bases are full of Colonels. I can't tell. Is that a pinch hitter coming out for Nicholls?
Yeah, that's.
I can't tell if that's
right,
Tucker or not.
Well, that's number 1.
No, that's on deck. I'm looking at the other guy.
Oh, okay, let me see here.
Coach Thibodeau still in the third base box. No activity in either bullpen at the moment. All right, I believe that's enough warm-up tosses for Mr. Rubino.
Now pitching for the Seahawks, number 5, Nick Rubino. Nick Rubino.
All right, here we go. Bases loaded, 1 out. That is Alex Tucker, the catcher that's going to bat. Couldn't see his number, but now that's him.
13, Alex Tucker.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Infield in on the corners. Deep in the middle, they'll try to turn a double play. They're in on the corners for the Seahawks. Ball all the way to screen. Ricochets right back to Capper, the catcher, but that's ball 1.
Well, you and I talked about it. It's a short distance, and especially the ball was thrown hard, hit the backstop, hit the wall back, and bounced right back. Nicholls would have had no play at all trying to come in.
And Capper did a good job turning around, knowing the ballpark. He's out here walking around earlier. That's what good ball players do. They check out those little nuances of the different ballparks. So good job by the catcher, Phil Capra. Well, the count's 1-0 to Alex Tucker. He's 1 for 2 with a walk, a ground out, and a single. He swings and misses at a breaking ball. That'll make the count 1-1. With 1 out, bases full of Colonels here in the bottom of the 7th, yet they still trail 4-3. Nick Rubino, the freshman right-hander, ready to work. Breaking ball, swing and miss again by Tucker. Rubino ahead in the count 1-2. Quade Smith on deck for the Colonels. He's the left fielder.
Third baseman, first baseman are playing in. Shortstop and second baseman playing deep, looking for the double play.
1 out. We get a 1-2 pitch to Alex Tucker. Fouled into the first base dugout. Wakes up a couple of the Seahawk players.
One thing I don't understand, the first baseman seems to be holding him on the bag. If he's going to play in, it should be on the grass a little more. I mean, he moves to that position, but he's, let's see if he does it again. He's on the, not really holding him on, but he's playing awful close to the bag.
The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses, down and away. Good eye by Tucker, count 2-2. Rubino ready to work from the stretch. Strike 3 looking. Burn the outside corner. That'll make it 2 outs, bases loaded, and the infield can return to regular depth. As Quade Smith, the left fielder, will come out. He's 0 for 3, couple of ground outs and a fly out. So Quade Smith's due for a hit. The Q, as they call him down here. I now see the Long Island University of Brooklyn team has made their way into the park. Jaguars of Southern University also here, as they will play a little bit later on this evening. 2 outs, bases full of Colonels. The pitch from Rubino. Breaking ball in there, strike one. He just dumped it in the strike zone, and Smith's down 0-1 in the count. The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball right side, first baseman on a hop, bounces off his chest, and he is going to be safe at first base. And this game is tied at 4. They're going to rule it an error.
Well,
the big thing is that this game is now tied at 4.
Well, Smith was a good runner. First baseman is upset with himself. He had a chance on it. He just fumbled the ball. It was hit fairly hard, but it looked like it had a little spin on it. But he still should have had it, and that would have. This is a big break for the Colonels.
They'll bring up Gage Tier, who came on in place of Cahill and walked in the 6th inning in the pinch hit role. He'll bat 2 outs, bases loaded. We're now tied at 4. Breaking ball up, ball 1 to Tier. Ethan Valdez, Colonel's second baseman, on deck. Ball was hit hard by Smith. First baseman should have had it, but the Colonels are happy because the score is tied at 4. Fastball in there, strike one. Gage Tier asked for time out there. Again, he came in the game as a replacement from Brandon, Mississippi. He's a junior. Again, Brandon just north of Jackson. The 1-1 pitch from Rubino. Ground ball towards the middle, shortstop Mazzio. He can't handle it, and the Colonels lead 5-4 on another infield error.
Well, that was clearly an error. The ball was not hit that hard. I don't know if the shortstop took his eye off. Here's the replay. You'll see it go right to the shortstop. It took maybe a bad hop at the end. He tried to adjust it and couldn't come up with it.
5th error of the ball game for the Wagner Seahawks, who did not see sunshine, grass, or dirt until Wednesday of this week, and that may be a part of the reason for the mishandling of the ground balls, and it'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, second baseman Ethan Valdez, 0 for 3. He'll bat with the bases loaded, 2 outs. Colonels now have the lead. They led briefly with the run in the 2nd inning until the 5th, and now they lead 5-4. We're still batting in the bottom of the 7th. Here's a pop-up bunt. That's going to be trouble. Spinning around. That's a base hit that's going to score a run. 6-4, Colonels on top.
Well, it's unusual to do a drag bunt in this case, but it was perfect. Valdez has not been hitting the ball well. He caught him by surprise. The ball just dropped in right in front of the third baseman, and another run scores. Here's a replay.
It just landed in the right spot. You're correct, Don. And good base running by the rest of the Colonels. It's still bases loaded, 2 out. We'll go to the top of the order. Chet Nicholls, who's 2 for 4 on the afternoon. He's got a pair of singles, looking for his 3rd hit of the game. Fastball away, ball 1. Nicholls, very good hitter with very good speed. 5 errors have hurt the Wagner Seahawks today. Colonels now lead 6-4. Still batting bottom of 7. Rubino, the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball in there. Called strike.
On that bunt, the third baseman certainly wasn't looking for that. It caught him by surprise, and he reacted too late. And a key play. Was not one you would expect.
A little unorthodox, but it worked.
Absolutely.
The 1-1 pitch. Nope. Nicholls wants time. The junior out of Hammond, Louisiana. He'll step back in with the count 1-1. Bases still full of Colonels. They now lead 6-4. Breaking ball, called strike outside corner, count 1-2. They've put the lights on here. Not needed yet, but we're going to be needed later. Slight breeze blowing out. Line drive center field. That's going to play it at least one more. And it gets past the center fielder. We could have an inside the park home run because Nicholls can fly. He is going to round third. He is going to attempt to score. Coach Thibodeau is waving him on. Here we go. Play at the plate, and he is safe. An inside the park grand slam for Chet Nicholls.
Well, that's the play of the game, the most exciting play. His speed came in. First of all, he hit the ball well, and second, he used his speed to score on a inside the park home run. We'll look at the replay here, and center fielder just misjudged what he needed to do on that ball.
Colonels have exploded here in the bottom of the seventh. Here it is. Center fielder came in, and it just went to his right. He misplayed the ball. He didn't touch it, so that's why it's an inside the park home run. The right fielder, Kayla, has to go get it. And Nicholls using the speed we talked about. Let's see. Yes, he gets the hand in there. Great call by the ump. Catcher Capper didn't like it, but he's in there, and it's 10-4 Colonels, and it'll bring Joey Morales, the shortstop, up. Well, with two outs and nobody on.
The center field looked like he overran it a little bit. It ricocheted off to his right, and with that speed on the base, they had very little chance.
Rubino answers with a outside fastball for strike one, as he's going to try to stop this eruption by the Colonels in the seventh inning. Breaking ball, strike two. They've got a big crooked number on the board. There's an 8 spot in the bottom of the seventh.
We didn't see that coming, did we?
It's baseball. You're not over till they get 27 outs. So
that's right.
Credit Seth Thibodeau and the Colonels for continuing to work and having this big inning. Some of the errors by Wagner have helped. The 1-1 pitch from Rubino. Well outside. Ball two. 1 ball, 2 strikes, I'm sorry. That's what I had on my computer, and they'll have to fix it on the scoreboard. Count is 1-2. Pitch from Rubino. Down and in, ball two, and the count's now 2-2. Gavin Webby on deck for the Colonels. The 2-2 pitch. Ball three, count full. Payoff pitch from Rubino. Down low, ball 4. The big inning for the Colonels continues. Ethan Pritchett throwing in the Wagner bullpen, but coming to the plate is Gavin Webby. Webby 0 for 3, hit by a pitch way back in the first. Struck out a couple of times and popped up, so Webby will hit with 2 outs. And Morales, the runner at first.
Gavin Webby. Number 2, Gavin Webby.
First pitch to Webby from Rubino. Lined into left field. That's going to get down for another hit and into the gap. That'll score another run. Morales will wheel it on around. Webby will pull up at second base with an RBI double.
Wagner's wondering what hit us. We'll see the replay. It was a well-hit ball. Left-handed batter, Webby just hit it between left and center field. Good speed on the bases and scored all the way from first base. Here's the replay. He had a short lead on first.
Watch the speed by Morales. You see the ball get into the gap. Webby pulls up into second, runner and scores, and that'll bring up Kyle North, first baseman, who is 0 for 2. He's walked and been hit by a pitch and a couple of flyouts. So North will bat with 2 outs and Webby the runner at second base. Rubino still out there. Breaking ball in there, strike one. It's now 11-4 Colonels as they have put a 9 spot. The scoreboard doesn't even have room for a 10 spot. That means Wagner's got to get an out, huh? North, the junior out of Slidell.
I don't think the Colonels will agree on that.
True. Fastball in there, strike 2. That was a good pitch, and North obviously looking for something else.
The Seahawks have still out-hit the Colonels total 8-7, but the Colonels have certainly made the most of their opportunities.
6 errors on the board has not helped Wagner even a little bit. Check, swing, tap, foul, and Coach Thibodeau boots another one in the third base box.
Well,
wait till I call him Monday morning.
I only had one bad throw in the opening pitch.
He's up on you 2-1.
Well, that's right.
I'll text him about that Monday morning. Telling him he needs to bring a glove down there to the third base box. North in the hole at 0-2. Lee Clark on deck. We'll see what North does. Fastball up and in, ball 1.
When you were at Southeastern, I'm assuming y'all played a lot of northern teams early in the year also, didn't you?
Yes, we did. That was the thing.
Now, at least when I was in college, baseball teams didn't even have fall practices. So
we did.
But in those days, they'd come down. They hadn't even played any baseball hardly, and certainly hadn't been outside. Some of these places now have indoor batting cages and indoor hitting stuff. They didn't have any of that. So
Coach Caron told me they've been working on the turf when they can on the football field or indoors. They play at Rutgers this coming Tuesday, and the weather's supposed to be a little better up there. They're thinking they're going to play. Breaking ball around the plate now. Full count to Kyle North, but no, they come down. They hadn't seen the blue sky. They hadn't seen grass and dirt. And it's a little bit of a difference, and they adjust, and usually they head back up north and play good baseball. Payoff pitch coming. Swing and a miss right through it, and that'll retire the Colonels in the bottom of the seventh inning. But what a bottom of the seventh it was, as they put a 9 spot on the board. Nicholls leads Wagner 11-4. Don Landry, Tommy Krysan, Pelican Sports TV.
The Colonels 11, the Seahawks 4.
In the Manning household, we're pretty serious about sports. And just like the team at the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodeau Regional, we're also very serious about sports safety. As the region's leader in First Comprehensive Sports Medicine Program, they've been in the game longer with certified athletic trainers, fellowship-trained sports medicine physicians, and neuro sports-trained experts. So play hard, play to win, but play it safe with the Sports Medicine Center of Thibodeau Regional.
Yet another new pitcher for the Nicholls Colonels. Hatcher started, Tarver relieved. Don, now tell us about Mike Hanchar.
1 second, here we go. Mike is number 17, am I right? He's a left-handed pitcher, 6'5", 220, from Highland, Indiana. And he pitched a wonderful game against ULL, I believe it was, on Tuesday. It was very impressive, one of the better pitch games they've had. So it's like bringing in your closer. It's like bringing in your closer at this point.
Talking about having legends in the press box, Ricky Broussard just walked in here.
Oh,
Lord. A legend. I'm amongst 2 legends now.
Hey, I walked into the parking lot. We hit inside the park grass.
Number 11.
A long-time Colonel coach and worked on a staff at LSU. His first batter, Brad Kerr, out of first base.
That's like your basketball team coming from behind in the fourth quarter by 20 points or something.
Something like that.
Good to see you, Coach Broussard.
Good to see you, Tom.
All right, man. This has been my lucky day. Pitch inside, count 1-1.
Well, Tommy came to town, met the new AD, and visited all the other coaches, and then have you here. So
great to have Coach Ricky Broussard stop by and say hello.
Well, you know, Ricky's in this business too. He'll sit in on their radio broadcast for basketball. Did you do the game today?
No, I didn't do the game today.
All right. He said he and I, one thing we differ in, and let's see what happens here. I told him I usually over-prepare. Ricky says he has no prepare. He just plays it by ear.
Throw the ball up, tip it, and go.
Whatever he sees, he wings it.
There you go. Foul back into the screen. Currow still batting. Again, Colonel's up 11-4 with that 9 spot in the bottom of the 7th. And Wagner hits here in the top of the 8th, and they've dug themselves a hole with those errors and some big hits by the Colonels. Fastball down, count is full.
Well, he's been warming up for several innings, so should be loose and in
I got some more
position.
activity down there. They're going to make sure he throws strikes, ground ball foul to the right of the first base bag.
Well, the next game, I believe I'm right, is they play at LSU.
Tuesday night in Baton Rouge,
And
correct.
so I kind of thought maybe they were saving him at one point to start the LSU game.
Yeah, you got to win today before you play tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Weak pop-up in the infield that the pitcher will handle. That's a little bit rare, but it works as Hancher gets underneath it.
Well, it wasn't hit very high, and you want the first baseman, it's probably his ball, but the pitcher called for it. First baseman slowed down, gave him a lot of room to catch it. If it was much higher than that, he would have gotten out of the way.
Next batter is Will Johnson, who came on in the 5th and walked. He'll bat for the Seahawks. 1 out, nobody on base. Fastball pours it in there for strike 1. 1 out, nobody on base. Breaking ball just missed outside. I thought that might have caught a little bit of the plate.
And Tommy, I know you know Coach Broussard better as a basketball coach, but he was a star baseball player at ULL. I don't know if you know that. He was a shortstop and a second baseman.
I know that. I am aware of that.
Okay, yeah.
In fact, the first time I met Coach Broussard, he was working Dale Brown's basketball camp. My son came up there, and Coach Broussard took care of my son, Brett, who's about to head off and be a Navy SEAL. How about that, Coach?
I saw that, Tommy, on Facebook. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
I'm very proud of him, yeah. He still talks about how you helped him out at the basketball camp.
Good old days.
Now batting will be, well, we got a pinch hitter. Freddie Sabito,
33, Freddie Sabito.
6'7", going to pinch hit for Wagner, and he looks at strike 1.
When Ricky was a high school coach, he used to work my summer basketball camps every year.
Start it with Coach Landry in summer basketball.
So he spent a lot of time here, and he
what a treat!
He coached a lot of guys from all levels. In fact, first time I met Coach Ogeron, the new LSU coach, he said he used to come to the camps. Not that I remembered him, and I remembered Bobby Hebert. I don't know if you were coaching the camps during that time.
Ground ball to Valdez at second. He's got it. Makes the throw to first, and that'll do it for the Seahawks in the top half of the 8th inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Nicholls on top of Wagner, 11-4. We're back after this pause. There's the Valdez making the play over to first. We're back after this pause on Pelican Sports TV. Stay with us.
Up and down the bayou. That's how we tell you to get from one place to the other. It's a little different, but so are we in Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. And once you get here, you'll understand why our Cajun runs a little deeper. Find a piece of our story on swamp tours and fishing boats, at festivals, attractions, and restaurants. Visit lacajunbayou.com to plan your trip today. Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Rich, natural, unapologetically Cajun. Just south of New Orleans, where Cajun runs deep.
We welcome you back as we head to the bottom half of the 8th inning. And Coach Ricky Broussard just informed me the Colonels swept the Southeastern Lions, women's basketball, men's today, over at the Stouffer Gymnasium. So that's good news. We got yet another new pitcher for Wagner as the Colonels are batting the bottom of the 8th. Tell us about it, Don.
All right, he's number 6, Ethan Pitchard, I guess is the way you pronounce it. He's a freshman, right-handed pitcher. Another 6'4" guy, 210, and he's from Camden, New Jersey, excuse me.
And the Colonels with the big lead now, 11-4. Anything more than 4 is a big lead, because then one swing can't catch you. It's the way I've always been taught. So Pritchett will pitch, and the Colonels will send the 5, 6, 7 hitters to the plate here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Clark Tucker Smith scheduled to hit, but it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter, I believe. We'll wait till they announce it officially. Great to see Coach Ricky Broussard. He helped my son years ago, and we've been friends ever since, and it was a special treat to see him. There he is. There's Coach Broussard.
Well, he and I have been friends for years,
What a legend,
too.
huh?
In fact, he gives me more credit than I deserve. But when they had an opening for head basketball coach, and I just said, Ricky, are you applying? He said, well, he had left South Florida, he was coaching in high school. He said, I don't think they'll hire me as a high school coach. I said, yeah, but you've been in college coaching. You've been recruiting. You're the type of guy they need. So he decided to apply and got the job, and he was very successful, made the big show twice with his basketball team. Very good coach, and ended up at LSU with Brady.
Coming up as a pinch hitter, Juan Gavin, a senior from Birmingham, Alabama. Juan Gavin will hit here in the bottom of the 8th. Colonels leading 11-4 against that new pitcher, Pritchett. Their first pitch from Pritchett, ground ball right side. First baseman fields it. Going to flip to Pritchett, and there's one out quickly. Gavin looks at one pitch, and he taps out. First baseman throwing to the pitcher, who did a good job getting over to the right side and covering. And that'll bring up Alex Tucker for the Colonels.
You know, I've been impressed with Tucker especially a defensive player. He handles himself well behind the plate. He throws well, threw a few guys out. He's a senior. He was an honor student, played at a good program at Catholic High. He knows the game, and as you know, you have to be strong behind the plate. And I think they're set as a good, strong, experienced catcher.
Sun kind of getting out of the way here, and kind of in the twilight, but still a beautiful evening in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Swing and a miss, strike 2 by Tucker. Quade Smith on deck here at the first Mardi Gras Invitational. Again, want to let you know it's presented by Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Tourism, LouisianaCajunBayou.com. Don't forget to check us out at PelicanSportsTV.com. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pritchett gets a couple of outs in a hurry. As Tucker swings at one, that was probably up out of the zone. And it looks like we get another pinch hitter going to come up for the Colonels. Coach Thibodaux early in the season trying to get some guys in. Going to bring in Nori Galjor.
33.
He will pinch hit here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Nori is from Cutoff, Louisiana, one of the few players they have from Lafourche Parish. He's a 6'2", 225 pound. He's a redshirt junior. So coaches Thibodaux's trying to get some of these guys in the ball game, get them a little more experience.
Fastball down for ball 1. The pitch away, count 2-0. Gage Tier on deck, scheduled to hit next. But as we mentioned, Coach Seth Thibodaux getting some guys some at-bats here in the bottom of the 8th as the Colonels do lead 11-4. They put that 9 spot on the board in the bottom of the 7th with a little help from a few errors and a bunch of Colonel hits.
Unless they fall apart, this will be their last bat. That's why I think he's trying to get a couple of these guys and give them an at-bat.
Don't need to fall apart with a 7-run lead. That won't be a good thing. So, hey, they'll get out there and get it done. 3-0 pitch in there. No, he say ball 4. So, Galjor walks in the pinch hit role, and it'll bring up Gage Tier, who walked when he came on in the 6th, and he reached on an error.
Tier had started several games in the past, so he's an experienced player.
Here's the pitch, up high, ball 1. One 0 is the count. Pritchett, 4th pitcher for the Seahawks to be in the game. Wheels and deals, swing and a miss by Tier. They'll square the count at 1-1. Two outs, runner on first. Breaking ball, strike 2 called by the umpire. Colonels beat Long Island University of Brooklyn last night. They were beaten by Hofstra on Thursday night, so they're looking to go 2-1 in the Mardi Gras Invitational. Fastball up, held up on the swing. Count will be 2-2. Two-two pitch, 2 outs, runner on first. Colonels lead 11-4. Fastball called strike, and that's going to be 3 outs. There you go. The catcher kind of hesitated there, but that's 3 outs. I tell you what, we're going to keep it right here and set the stage for you. We're going to head to the 9th inning, and the Colonels lead 11-4, 3 outs away from nailing this one down with the 7-run lead. And it's been a game, Coach, where the Seahawks have out-hit the Colonels, but those errors hurt the Seahawks, and then some timely hitting by the Colonels with that big 9 runs in the 7th inning.
Well, you have to give the Colonels credit. Things were not going their way for a while. They have not been hitting the ball well in this tournament, and so when they got behind, they could easily kind of not had the same effort, but they kept playing, kept plugging away, and came from behind, had the big inning. Certainly the errors from Wagner helped, but they hit the ball when they needed to hit it. And they got some extra base hits to drive in multiple runs on a single play. So this will be an important win. It puts them on the winning side of the record, and it gives them momentum going into the big LSU game on Tuesday.
New pitcher for the Colonels, Kyle Kraft, the right-hander, 6'2", $175 junior out of Victoria, Texas. Coach Seth Thibodeau going to send him out there to wrap this thing up, top half of inning number 9 here at Ray E. Didier Field. The Mardi Gras Invitational, which has featured 3 teams from New York, Long Island University of Brooklyn, Hofstra, and these Wagner Seahawks, and from Louisiana, the homestanding Nicholls Colonels, Grambling State Tigers, who won on a walk-off wild pitch earlier today. They beat Hofstra 8-7. And the coach Roger Kadar's Southern Jaguars, and they will actually play against Long Island University of Brooklyn a little bit later on this evening. There's one game on Sunday at the Mardi Gras Invitational, and then that'll do it for the first year, as Grambling will play Brooklyn tomorrow in the final game of this Thursday to Sunday tournament.
One important person that may be here today, I just haven't spotted him, is their current president, Coach Bruce Murphy.
He was here last night. I met him.
Well, he's a big fan. He usually has this camera. He loves to take pictures, and he's at all the events I've been to. And he's a retired military, high-ranking officer in the Army, and his wife is also a retired military officer. And he's come in and done an excellent job as our president.
Pinch hitter Kyle Bray looks at strike 1 from the new pitcher, Kraft. So he's ahead 0-1 to the pinch hitter Kyle Bray, a junior out of Middletown, New Jersey. Ground ball tapped in front of the plate. Pitcher Kraft will field it, throw to first, and that's out number 1. Colonels 2 outs away from the win.
The pitcher moved over left. Nice play. And that was not an easy automatic play. The ball was bouncing off. He's a big, tall guy. Reached down, made a nice play, and made a perfect throw to first base. Nice play by the pitcher.
That'll bring up Joe Silverstone, the center fielder. 1 for 4 in the afternoon. A single, but he has a couple of strikeouts, and he looks at strike 1 from Kyle Kraft, the Colonel right-hander. Nobody up in either bullpen. Coach Thibodeau wants Kyle Kraft to finish this thing off. The 0-1 pitch down low, count 1-1. Been a lot of fun today, Don, as always, to be joined by you on the Pelican here.
Well, you know, I've broadcast some interesting games in a variety of sports. It's always fun.
I appreciate it. Pelican Sports TV, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, New Orleans, and the internet at pelicansportstv.com. Also available on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. You can watch a lot of our programming at your convenience. Check it out.
You've mentioned Tigers Roar, which is a television program, talk show for an hour, but you also have a daily radio show that's very popular in the Baton Rouge area, and I encourage people that can pick it up to make sure they listen in to you.
Thank you very much. 1-2 pitch from Kraft. Breaking ball just missed, count 2-2. 1 out, nobody on. Colonel's trying to wrap this one up. Line drive up the middle. That's a base hit. Second hit of the ball game for Silverstone.
Well, he got behind the ball and had a good solid hit right up the middle, and the pitcher couldn't stop it, and the ball, went between shortstop and second, almost right over the bag. Nice strong hit.
We'll bring up number 19, pinch hitter Eric Locke, freshman out of Maluka Hill, New Jersey. You see the single thrown back into the infield. So Eric Locke, the brother of pitcher Ryan Locke, who appeared earlier in the game, will hit with one out and a runner on first. Pitch from Kraft, ball one. Fastball up, count 2-0. This is not a time not to throw strikes. Any pitching coach will tell you,
no.
Guys, we're up 7, throw it over the plate.
That's right. Let them hit and rely on your defense.
Yeah. Gee, that'll give a pitching coach gray hair when you got a 7-run lead and a guy gets to count 2-0. He better come with a strike here at a pitching coach and he might have some extra laps. Ball 3 inside, and that's not what he wanted. Good eye at the plate by Eric Locke. So we shall see. 3-0 pitch. In there for strike one. Wouldn't be surprised if he took again, since they trail by 7. Bottom of the ninth. Top of the ninth, I'm sorry. Correct. Check that. Top of the ninth. I'll get it correct. The 3-1 pitch, grounded right side. First baseman Northcott going to throw to the shortstop. Get the leading runner. And that'll be 2 outs.
Nice play by the first.
Seahawks are down to their last out.
Nice play by the first baseman. Sometime the guy, the first baseman in that type of play would just go touch the bag, get the easy out instead of gambling that throw. But he played it perfect. Nice defensive play.
James Wise will be the pinch hitter, a sophomore out of Staten Island, New York. That is where Wagner is located. So he's a hometown guy playing for the Seahawks. First pitch from Kraft. The crowd on their feet. Line drive, second baseman off the glove. That's going to be into right field. They will score that a hit. Put runners at first and second with 2 outs. And the Seahawks keep it alive. And they'll bring up Pecora, their second baseman. Again, they're down to their final out. No action in the Colonel bullpen. So Kyle Kraft, it's his task to complete this thing.
Anthony Pecora.
Well, Wagner's out hit Nicholls 10-7. So they've hitting the ball good for a team that hadn't been outside too much.
First pitch to Pecora from Kraft. Fly ball into right field. Webby on the move. He's got it. Colonels win 11-4. Don Landry, I appreciate it. We want to thank Coach Tim Rebo, football coach. We want to thank athletic director Matt Roan, Ricky Broussard for the surprise visit, and Don, once again, thanks to you for helping us out here on the Pelican. We get a look at the last out. 2-1 in the tournament for the Colonels. Webby squeezes it here at Ray E. Didier Field. The Mardi Gras Invitational brought to you by LouisianaCajunBayou.com. On behalf of everybody with the Pelican Sports crew, you see your final score. Nicholls 11, Wagner 4. I'm Tommy Krysan. You've been watching Pelican Sports TV.
On 7 hits, they committed 1 error and left 9 men on base.